pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Patterson, Ms. Beaupre, Ms. Hefner, Mr. Richmond, Mr. Engard, Mr. Bozak,
Here.
Mr. Swett.
Here.
Okay, I don't believe we need a motion to excuse Dave, but he did ask to be excused. So we'll head on to, we do have a couple that's signed here that would like to participate in the meeting. So we're going to go with Brian Chambers first. Mayor, you wanted to address council, go ahead.
Yes. So maybe I don't know if people know I'm Officer Chambers with the North Baltimore Police Department. I've been with the village for 16 years. I've been in law enforcement going on 30 years, maybe a little over 30 years now. I made the decision Friday at the festival that it's time to hang it up and ready to retire. So I don't think we've ever had a part-timer officially retired from the North Baltimore, let alone maybe a full-timer. I don't even know if we've had a full-timer retire. But I think it's just at that point in my career, I'm not doing the village any favors by sticking around. That village ain't gonna, I mean, either way, it's kind of a lose-lose for me. My heart's not in it anymore. I haven't been full-time in 8 years. I work full-time for Miller Pipeline. I'll have a pension through them, retirement and all that as well. I work 58, 60 hours a week, and I just don't have time for the village anymore to give them the time, the hours that they require. So I talked to Dee and David, and I think it'd just be better if I hang it up at this point. So, but I wanted to address council with that. We're in uncharted territory as far as that goes. I got like 700 hours of sick leave that I have accrued. Our policy is kind of
Does our part-time employees accrue sick leave?
yes, but it's very hard for us to use it because the way the policy reads, we have to have a scheduled shift in order to use sick time. Now, the only way to get around that, part-timers don't have a scheduled shift.
Yeah, you sign up when you want to work. So how do you?
So that's where I always disagreed with it. I never understood how we were supposed to use the sick time. There's been times where I have used it over the 16 years, where there was like, I had a death in the family, I was working. So I left and I took sick time to cover that shift.
Sure.
There were some times where I was scheduled, I got corona, or the virus. I was tested positive for like 6 months. And at the time, I was scheduled to work here, so I did take time then. I have taken time over the years, when it was, but in good faith, I can't just sign up for hours and then call off sick. My moral compass points in a different direction. So I can't do that. So the policy says they will pay out 25% of the sick time.
That's
But
ORC.
I think it's ORC that we have to give them the ability to accrue sick time. I don't think we have to do the 25% payout. I don't believe so, but I've never confirmed.
Because that's what we have to do.
Chief, you got part-time employees. What do you know about any of this?
I believe that's for full-time staff retirement.
Yeah, like you have to, the state of Ohio says you have to give them sick time.
Part-time?
Yes.
You sure it's part-time?
Yes.
I believe so too.
But the payout, I'm not sure. I just know that even like part-time at school is paid out at 25%. Like
I'll
that's
double
a
check the
standard.
payout part of things.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you called up here and talked to, who'd you talk to? I talked to you a little bit.
I talked to you, I
On the
talked to
phone?
Dee. I mentioned that, I'd be interested.
Who'd you talk to up here, Mr. Chambers?
I haven't talked to anybody yet. I wanted to make sure that, I just wanted to address council first. Just to put the bug in the ear, hey, this is what my intentions were. Like I said, we're in uncharted territory as far as, this has never happened before, as far as I understand it, within the village, as far as the officers goes. So, I just know, I'd be leaving a good chunk of change on, on the table. And I was just looking, I didn't know how that would work.
We have about policy.
What's that?
whatever the policy says.
Yeah, so I was looking at the policy, and I don't think it distinguishes between full or part-time. I don't believe it says, it just says upon an officer's retirement. The catch that I'm in, though, is I'm going to, with the state, I'm going to cash in my retirement and put it into like a Roth IRA. So I'm not gonna get because I would have to wait till I was 62 to start drawing my pension. So that's where I think where the wording in the policy would be. I'm not sure how that would work, because I'm going to be taking that retirement as a bulk amount versus a monthly stipend from the state, and I'm putting that into a different retirement, like a Roth IRA, like that's gonna, or high yield interest. So in order for me to do that, I have to officially be done with the police department in order to get that payout to put it into another account.
The state still considers that as retirement, though, does it not?
I would think they still do, even though it's.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, even though it's not like wait until I'm 62, it's still this is what I'm doing.
You've terminated service
Right,
here.
correct.
As retired.
Correct. That's how I took it. So, like I said, the verbiage in the policy that we've had here, like you said, we're uncharted territory, so I don't know.
Well, I'd like to see what the policy says so that we can, I mean, we need to follow the policy, so let's see what that.
If there's any ambiguity, I'll go to legal counsel to see what he said.
Well, thank you for your years of service, much appreciated, Mr. Chambers. Thank you.
It was a hard decision, but like I said,
Right.
Friday was at the meeting there, or the festival was kind of like a pushover. Like I was done.
Was that wild there?
It wasn't just that. It was just
What happened?
just having the uniform on, and it just didn't feel the same.
Heart's not in it.
Yeah, just the heart's not there anymore. I mean, talking to the people, like we were saying, I was like, if I could find a position where just as a community officer, where I could just go around, shake hands, and smile at people, you know, that'd be a
We're
great
always hiring
position.
for auxiliary. We're always hiring for auxiliary.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
We appreciate all your years of service, and we wish you luck on your retirement.
I'm gonna enjoy it. I don't wanna be that officer that stays in it for 60 years, and then when they do retire, they keel over and die before they can, enjoy the retirement.
All right, we will check into it, see what our policy says for sure.
I do have, I don't have a current stuff, this is the most current one I have. I don't know if he's able to pull it up or not, but this one said I had 690 was the current one, so I don't know if that makes a difference or not. But I know it's probably not the most accurate one.
Yeah, thank you.
Check into it
tomorrow. Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
We got your number, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Is that all right?
yeah, it's on the roster wherever. Yeah, I put it on there too, yeah. All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have Paulette Mills. Did you want to address council at all?
No, I'm with Klein
Hi,
Conrad, and I
Jen.
just wanted to come introduce myself and
Okay.
see if you guys had any questions.
All
We're
right.
really excited about working with you guys, and we already have a lot of things, scoped out.
Yes, we do.
All right, does the council have any questions for Ms. Mills? All right, I guess not at this time. All right, we are going to move on then to public safety. Tim, on drug enforcement.
Did everybody get an opportunity to do that agreement? I want to get with the chief and sit down with the sheriff and take a look at it as a group and with.
I had a couple questions
Yeah.
on it.
So-
We had specifically, when we had the meeting, we had specifically stated how much time the officer would spend in the 12-month. That wasn't addressed in here.
Sure, and there's a lot that was kind of, so here's what they sent over. I would like to get with, everybody send me what your concerns are, and we will bring them up. I can even, so send me what your concerns are, and I'll make a phone call to you, and we can sit down and talk about it, or I want to try to make that meeting for Monday. So if you're available, I'd like you to be there. I'll see if I schedule it, Mr. Engard. I know you're very busy, so and So if everybody would just send me an email
Okay, because I have another.
to mine up there, and then I will call you and get more details, so we're not
Okay.
belaboring this, and then, so this agreement is what they sent over.
Right.
Now, we need to get our concerns addressed and any issues that we may have, we can sit down, and I would like,
Does it have to be our officer here? Can it be the sheriff? Because if they're working undercover operations, their sheriff being here would be probably better than our officer being here in the community.
Well, I think it would be both of them.
Yeah.
They will be.
We're
Yeah.
for sure they
They
would
both
be
are
both
working
of them.
together.
But there were things like, any drug money that was recovered, that wasn't mentioned in here.
just a little bit.
And the other thing,
Yeah,
it
just a
wasn't
little.
mentioned as to how much time, because we were
Right.
concerned that we were paying for this, but
Right.
are we gonna
Right.
get equal time?
Yeah.
So those were two things that I had, and I'll email.
And there was
you.
a couple more, and then Dee, we can get together, anybody else has any concerns, please send me an email, and I will come and sit down with you, or we can schedule where two of us will sit down, that way it doesn't take as much time, and then if there's more than that, I'll sit down with two more, and I'm gonna try to schedule the meeting for next Monday. So, I will let you know, I have not scheduled it, I wanted to see what everybody thought about the agreement up to this point,
Mhm.
and then we'll go from there, so.
Yeah, I think the two items that she mentioned that needs to be spelled out a little more for
I
our
agree.
sake. Yeah.
And I had the same concern,
Yeah.
and a couple more, and I'll share them with you
Yeah.
guys as we
Okay.
sit down.
Great.
Thank you very much. So I'll work on getting that meeting set up for either next week or possibly the week after. If we have to call a special meeting on anything, I'm sure we can call it a special meeting if the body deems it necessary.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's good.
I'm sorry.
Did you have anything else, Tim, that you need to add?
Next month?
I would say we can probably have the first reading on it, at least get the ball rolling, because it can be
Right.
amended at any process or at any step of the process, and we could table it if any questions
Right,
arose.
we
Right,
can
so,
hammer out,
but we
right.
could at least get the process started for the first reading, just make sure there's no emergency clause.
All right, does anybody have any questions for Tim? All right, we will move on to.
Currently there is.
Yeah, for public safety, yeah,
Yep.
So we're gonna have to appropriate some money. We're gonna appropriate some money, we've done a lot of spending over there this year already, and it's not at the fault of the chief. We've authorized it because the department has been, in my opinion, neglected for a lot of years. I think we all know that. The chief is bringing us up to speed. I think it's cost a little bit more money than what we anticipated. I sat down with April and Justin today, and I've already met with the chief. Justin already met with the chief. First of all, we gotta make sure that the lines of communication, we got a new chief, we got a new finance, so we're gonna be working on getting the lines of communication between them, and the processes and procedures on how to spend money in the department, in every department for that matter. They're gonna sit down with them tomorrow, but please look for an appropriation. We're gonna be asking to appropriate more money into that department. Just for instance, one of them is fuel. The fuel budget's zero. Now, obviously, fuel costs has doubled, but we're at zero for our fuel. So, and I can go into details if you guys want me to at some point, but they're gonna see what's going on tomorrow.
So how do we at zero at halfway through the year? Is it
Well,
simply because of the increase in
I don't know.
prices?
So one of my concerns is, in talking to Justin, I brought it up in the past, our cruisers run constantly, but they have to.
Right.
Guys, that's nobody's fault. We all know that, I even confirmed that with Justin today. I said, what would happen if they shut them off with that computer system? Well, then you gotta take time to boot up. If there's an emergency, we don't wanna do that. But could we take a look at, I'm not an electric guy, could we take a look at putting like an inverter in them? Right? There's inverters that we could plug them in and, I don't know what the cost
I can't
is.
imagine every police department in the world leaves their cars,
Yeah.
running 24 hours a day.
Well, I don't know that we're letting them run 24 hours a day.
Well, when they're working, yeah.
But I know that I've come up here a lot, and they're out front, they're running.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, we don't want, I don't want to say rightfully so, I understand that if Officer Roberts gets called, he's out there in an emergency, that he needs that computer right now. So there's got to be something that we could put into these vehicles that we could shut the vehicle off, but the computer is still running. right? There's gotta be a system.
There are inverters, but there's problems with inverters.
Okay, so it's just something I think that we need to look at, and that's not only.
We don't store our cars in a garage, so now you're gonna have a cord somewhere for people to trip on, people to unplug, people to mess with. Firemen are dumb, they drive off with the cords in the rig.
Okay, wouldn't the inverter run off of the battery? Or not?
You can, I mean,
And
I'm sure
then,
they're
no,
out there.
and obviously the battery's gonna recharge itself once you start, but we can talk about it, but it's not just the vehicle just sitting out road running. I understand that, the fuel prices, gas prices has doubled in the past 8 months, I mean, and I don't know, we'd have to go back and look and see what we budgeted last year compared to this year, or the trend for the last year. So we don't really have an answer, I just got that information today. So we're gonna look into it, we're gonna sit down with the chief. I sat down with him already. Like I said, it's no fault of anybody, that department's been neglected, but we'll get you guys some answers. So,
How much is the appropriation?
we're not sure, that's gonna be worked out tomorrow. So, we bounced around some numbers and we wanna get a more accurate number. But we don't wanna guess without talking to the chief, obviously, because it's about what does he need, just like any other department. We don't wanna assume, right? But I think there's money within, if it's okay with the chief, there's money within his department that we may be able to move around to offset some of that possible appropriation. But it's like, just for one, just for simplicity, the fuel cost is something real simple to kind of say, but it's more than that. So, but I don't want to specify until we get.
It would be nice to have an update on what we have invested this year.
In that department?
Yes.
Okay.
I could get that?
Yep, we sure can. I asked Justin for that as far as like, hey, what did we budget and where are we at?
Right.
You know, what's
Well,
the,
it's not, you know, 'cause
yeah.
I know we have done a lot of upgrading and it needed it. But
It
I'd like
needed
to
it.
know where we are
Yeah,
right now.
and the chief has done a great job of getting us by, Mr. Roberts. I mean, you guys are pretty much getting what you need over there, correct? I mean, you're
We are right there.
close, right?
The best one is the radios.
Yeah.
We got the
that's
radios
awesome.
fixed and it's remarkable.
So, we haven't invested a lot of money over there, but it was needed, so.
Chief Bingham may be in attendance next Tuesday to answer any questions we have in person.
But we're gonna sit down, well, they're gonna sit down with
Yes.
Friday, the April and Justice. Just wanted to bring you guys up to speed on that. I don't think I have anything else under the safety, so thank you.
All right, any questions? We're gonna move on to Public Works. Paula?
Go ahead.
Okay, so we moved up Paulette over here from Kleinfelder. This morning, the revisions by Bob for the client professional service agreement. I don't understand if you guys have not reviewed that yet, but I just want to make sure it's straight from the horse's mouth what we're expecting from this agreement, which is basically indemnification, the village, and Eric, you can speak better on this than I can if you're going to chime in.
Yeah, we gotta, I just got a chance to look at our lawyer's red line, so I'll shoot you something.
Yes, but
Yeah, there's some concerns that.
okay.
address in here.
Basically, Paulette, we wanted to protect the village. We've been in the past taken advantage of, might be the best word.
We've had, well, by engineers that didn't perform to our expectations. We did not get the product, we didn't get the product that we paid for, and it's happened more than once, and for us, it's passed out. This isn't a Kleinfelder issue, obviously, we just got some concerns to, does the language in these agreements protect the villages, what we're paying for, so that's.
I was gonna say, it's our agreement, let's be honest, it's gonna protect us, so.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
But,
let's.
no, what I'm saying, Paul, and I apologize, this issue didn't arise because of what you guys proposed. This is an issue that's arose, we're in a legal battle over some stuff that we kind of got taken advantage of. We didn't get I don't want to say we got taken advantage of, we didn't get the product that we paid for.
Yeah.
And it was a $300,000 investment, right? So, and it's happened more than once to the village of North Baltimore. Hopefully under this body, it's not gonna happen anymore. So that's what some of the concern up here is. So they'll take a look at the language and get back with.
good, don't worry.
And I'm assuming your legal counsel is going to
I was
be
gonna say, yeah,
also, which means next Tuesday's our council meeting, which means we'll probably table that, or have another meeting in general, I'm not sure what to
Yeah,
decide.
probably will, because it'll take a little while for.
So,
Yeah, sure.
So August, I think August 8th, I want to say, might be the time we actually do the voting on the multi-use path agreements with Kleinfelder, which I guess the resolution would also include this agreement, I would think, as one, if it makes sense. So we'll keep you updated, and I'll talk to our legal counsel on all this, and Eric obviously has his input in there along with other council members, and go from there.
So
Yeah, we'll look at the milestone dates on the schedule and make sure that, if we need to update those with TMCOG and with ODOT, we do that early on.
Yep.
I don't like surprises.
Yes, I know, ODOT and Lake Erie West.
Oh, God.
Only
I'm
TMCOG,
sorry.
have been very helpful this whole process, and patient with this whole thing, but we'll get it done as soon as possible for sake of the grant, really, the award.
So, are we gonna talk a little bit about South Main Street?
We can, for sure.
STBG.
That's okay with you guys. We love that also. Yeah,
that's
sure.
awesome. I just
Um,
have to step out and get a piece of paper.
I just wanted to touch base with you guys. I know that we have gotten an updated estimate for the improvements along South Main Street, to Josh. And, it includes a lot of sidewalk work. We're gonna do, a rapid flashing beacon, a little bump out right there where, the Dairy Queen is. We wanna make it safer for pedestrians crossing there. We figure that's kind of a higher traffic area, especially in the summertime. So we want to make sure that those pedestrians are bumped out away from being behind parked cars as much as possible. Make the distance for them shorter and then make it easier for drivers and the pedestrians to see. We talked about resurfacing and also improving sidewalks along that corridor. The funding source that we're looking at for this is STBG, Surface Transportation Block Grant Funds. And they are available through Lake Erie West, as old timers call them TMCOG, and probably always will. But Lake Erie West is the one that we would apply for funds through. Those applications are due August 7th. So if anybody had any concerns about the project, please let us know. We'd always prefer to ask for just a little more money than we need as opposed to not enough. And then one of the things that hopefully Josh is going to be able to join me on, I personally always like to go meet with the folks at Lake Erie just to kind of do a quick review of the application we're submitting, get any tips, any suggestions from them, because their feedback is incredibly valuable. They're the ones that sit in the room when the scoring is done, so we want to make sure that we give them what they're looking for. And then we'll also ask them if they would prefer to see us phase the project. I know that isn't the favored option, because you're going to have more startup costs. You're going to have 2 rounds of startup costs. But sometimes phasing the project is a really good idea. Right now, the federal transportation bill has not been passed. That's still being negotiated. There is a lot of concern by ODOT about which programs are going to continue into future years. So the funds that we'd be applying for would be for 2030. So in the real world, that means July of 2029. But the funds that we'd be applying for, the earliest they would be available is fiscal year 2030.
Conservatively, maybe 2032, I think,
Yeah.
we also saw.
Yeah.
So, going off of what Paula just said, and in lieu of our 3rd reading next week, we have to go with emergency in order to go forward the application, which is again due August 7th, the day before our meeting in August. The construction estimate we received has, I don't have it in front of me unfortunately, has an approximately, $280,000 local design cost, I believe it would probably be, right, Paulette, approximately?
Yeah, looking right now.
So, and the hope of not surprising council on these upfront costs, that would be, again, the village's responsibility to pay, but the 80-20 from the STBG, should we be awarded, would be paid for the 80% would be the STBG, and then 20%, like the other stuff we've done, East Broadway, for example, same process, we would go for OPWC and other types of state funding to get us that 20% load. So,
And
very
that's one
similar.
of the things that we talked about with that sidewalk multi-use trail project, is we know that you have funding secured for that. Once we get started, we'll verify the intended date of when you're looking at going to construction. And we're going to see if we can get a little extra money through the Ohio Department of Natural Resources to help with that local share. They're very interested in helping with trails, not sidewalks, but trails that connect the important points in the community. And I think there's a great story to tell there. So those applications are due February 1st. And we just need to make sure that the timing of construction works with both of the ODNR program and their funding and the ODOT funding that came through Lake Erie West.
So I understand, council, this is a huge sum of money, but this would be a major project for our main street. So I think it'd be worth it in the long run. We gotta do something that's gonna include a repave, sidewalks, ADA mats. It'll have stubs sticking out for every single street, basically, going west and east. And it'll connect the village. And I think it'd be a great project for the village. Street, sidewalk, lighting. It would include our downtown, the McAnally's alley there, I keep saying. It will extend the same design that we have up here down that far, to give them some love and new sidewalk. And in addition to all that, if we do go forward with the quiet zone standard crossing at Main Street through a different project, it would make a lot more sense to include them in future festivals and give them more business and obviously commerce would flourish. And obviously the main reason for the quiet zone standard there would be increased pedestrian safety, pedestrian crosswalks and all of that, and increase working with CSX for that instance and other instances, whether it be railroad grade separation, whether it be painting the depot or fixing up the depot or mowing grass, whatever it might be, that would be an input also. So that's kind of a 2 cents for a future project too, but I think that encompasses pretty much the whole project, correct? Paula, am I missing anything?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Any questions for me or Paulette on SDBG or the multi-use path?
So the downtown is, I'm sorry, it's a 2080.
Yeah, the
Anybody ask
ODOT
that?
funding is 80/20, so 80% grant for construction
Yep.
and engineering during construction, and then 20% local. So your right-of-way will be 100% local if right-of-way is needed, and we do have a little weird spot
A
down
little
there.
bit, yes.
Yeah, so 100% of any right-of-way acquisition would be the village's responsibility, and then also 100% of design.
Of design.
Yeah.
That's the big one.
Which is usually, I know,
280,000 is what you said.
280, right?
Yes, yes. That's the
280,000 plus 20%, guys. They can,
max, the 20% hopefully we get knocked down a little bit with OPWC.
well, I got actual funds here that are available, so,
Yes.
I mean, we need to know what these are when we're making these decisions, and I'm not sure everybody up here
Right.
knows this, and it's important that you guys do, because there's a lot of discussion that we need to have on picking and choosing. We don't want to run until dry, is what I'm saying,
Of course.
so.
We have to invest.
We're not going to.
We have to make sure we have to utilize every single opportunity that comes across our desk. Paulette, what was I gonna say?
So, but I think that we have agreed that we wanted to move forward with at least the path, right? I mean, I know we haven't had legislation, but the multi-use path, right? And that's a what year was that, Paulette?
2030.
2030, that project was supposed to.
Go to construction, yeah.
Construction side of things. Yeah.
So I think we have to have some direction on where we get the money to pay for this. You know, if it was up to me, I would take the sewer tap special assessment, is what I would take, which is general fund money, but we used it we took it out of general fund, and I don't want to belabor this, but guys, you know, we're talking about possibly doing Corey Road, we're talking about this project, funds are gonna go quick, we just did 2 projects, that hit our finances, you know, the Broadway and the bridge, which is phenomenal, right? They're much needed, but we're also gonna, so,
Yes.
we just, I wanna make sure you guys, that this body's aware of what you have to work with, because I'm not sure that you do, right? Which, we're not in any trouble, we're not in any despair, but we're not gonna get to pick every project that comes across our desk. We don't get to just pull the trigger on. So, you know, I wanna thank Josh for giving us, but you guys have to know what you have to work with, so you guys can say, yes, go after this project aggressively, or no, we'll pass on that for now. So,
And Paula, if we were to be awarded this STBG, would the village need to come up with those funds in 2027, or towards the end of 2026, or would it be the appropriation?
for the Main Street.
Yes, Main Street, yes.
Yeah, you would be paying for engineering while that's occurring, and then your local match for construction. I don't know if you're an LPA and have done the classes to do project.
I am.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So you do not have to escrow your money before it goes out to bid, so.
Okay.
So that won't be needed until you get ready to go.
That's a little bit of little insurance, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the question is, do we need to appropriate the money for 2027, the 280 approximately?
Let me look at the schedule.
Okay.
I don't think I.
Starting with the appropriation on that, but, okay. We can probably figure that out later.
And we won't, I'm sorry, go ahead, Josh.
I kind of want to segue into the income tax.
We won't get an engineer's estimated cost until you guys actually get it designed, correct?
It'll be updated at so with an ODOT project, there are 4 phases of drawing review. And it gives us and ODOT the opportunity to review those estimates. And then ODOT is going to give us the latest and greatest of what is asphalt costing today,
Right.
what is concrete costing today. And so you'll see the estimate adjust a little bit up and down, you know, depending on
Yeah.
what the current bidding climate is. But it's a really great litmus test to make sure the project that you dreamed about 4 years ago nearly, that estimate works and is continually kept up. Because when we do these estimates to begin with, we make some assumptions for inflation.
Of course.
But yeah, let's see what inflation is really doing.
Right. And if I may segue into the income tax, I apologize, Paula, for kind of hijacking your whole committee agenda here. I propose to council, as you can see in the report, I propose to council that we increase our income tax, put in the ballot obviously, from 1 to 2%, with all that additional 1.5 million going towards streets, public works building, and public works equipment, and sidewalks, and lighting, and basically everything to do with infrastructure only. You know, in the past, we kind of talked about going towards 20 different things. I think in this case, we're talking about infrastructure, streets, what people can see in front of their faces. And I think that, I know that this is the only way really forward to really getting our village up to par, basically, because these streets are falling apart. We've been duct taping them for years, decades, and with the current funding we currently have at this moment. And there's not much funding out there for these residential streets. This is the only way really forward to getting those streets paved. There's no SDVG for East Water Street or.
But there's another avenue, but people are not gonna like it.
CDBG to-
I'm talking about within the village, but people aren't gonna like it, so we'll talk about that another
Yeah.
day. But
Yeah.
this isn't the only path forward.
It's not.
It's one path forward, and we didn't, and I apologize, but we didn't have 20 different things on there to do. We had parks, we was gonna improve our parks, we had storm drainage, we had roadway. I know that we took the festival off the second time that I'm pretty sure the second time that we went after it, I think we took festivals off.
No.
No, it was on there, so they kept $20,000.
And-
Right, and those are about like 4 things that we had.
Right, I mean, it was centered right around that, and
Yeah.
I just
So,
don't know that
it's
we
okay.
got enough information out to the public to
Yes.
really, you know,
Which I
get their
believe I can do a
support.
better job than before, which I mentioned before. But I.
Good
yeah,
luck.
You wanna
I-
put 2%, you wanna do 2%?
Yeah.
He wants to increase
Did
1%.
you say?
Go from 1% to
1 to
2%.
2. 1 to 2 is the idea at this time. The legislation would be for emergency next Tuesday because we have to get it on the 2 Board of Elections and all that before the August 5th deadline, which is again before August 8th meeting. This would make Josh's department whole. Basically, he'll get all the equipment he needs to maintain our roads, and he can get his public works building, and our residents would be a lot happier when we have actually streets getting planned to get repaved. which we just don't do. I don't think we've ever really
We,
done that
we,
much.
what were we supposed to do it with?
Exactly, exactly.
I mean,
We don't
that's,
have the
I mean,
money.
you're saying that we haven't done it in the past, we've got $106,000 a year to work with.
Exactly.
That's what we have, to no less.
We need more money to get this done.
$26,000 is permissive funds that's required by the ORC to spend on roadway, so that's what we have to work with every year.
And we've come to a head in our infrastructure right now where every single resident can guarantee, say, yeah, our streets need help.
I think if we do, and I'm saying if we do move forward with this, when you inform the public, I think there needs to be a clear-cut plan on where we plan on starting. I think the public will want to know that. Where, you know, not just a blank canvas to go, okay, we've got all these streets that need done. What is our game plan?
Right now, my game plan is what we already have been discussing, Main Street, and all East Broadway sidewalk, et cetera, but I'm thinking East Water Street reconstruction, which desperately needs help, and then obviously North Main Street, north of Walnut needs a lot of love too.
Where we started on that, there, we had a map that Mr. Roberts has, GPS, that shows which roads has all the water lines currently done and which ones don't. We do
Yes.
not want to pave roads that do not have the water, because then we're going to just tear them right back up.
Yep.
So we worked on that, right? We worked on that going into the first, I don't know, Mr. Roberts, remember how long? 3, 4, well, Allison was still here.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
So it was a while ago when we, so.
2018, 19 probably.
So that, just letting you know, that would be a good list to get that map to start with and say,
As a
you know,
main factor.
here's where we want to start. I would say Main Street, North Main
Right,
Street.
and I think explaining to the community why we're starting there, just like the mayor said, that we don't have the water lines done in certain areas, so we don't want to
Yes.
tear them back up. I've seen that happen in Bowling Green way too many times. They
Agreed.
pave it and then they go tear
What
it
the mayor
up.
described as a major factor in where we are determining where everything's going to go. Obviously, we're with Brian to make sure all the other streets, if we look at them to get repaved, we also do those improvements to water or sewer or whatever it might be at the same time. But right now, we have so much trench paving out there and spots, it's outrageous, and people can't drive down there.
And I want to let the body know, I promised the citizens of mine that I would not ask them again, so this is, so don't get, you know, so I gave them my word, so this is,
Yep.
and this is.
This is our way
Thank you
forward.
very much
Without,
for understanding that.
without getting this approved, we go on, and I mean, you can look at many places in the village, the catch basin is inches, it's like 6+ inches below the pavement, because we just keep paving and paving and paving. We can't do that anymore. We just can't, we can't afford it.
So you
Curbs are
said
gone.
you felt you would be able to inform the public better.
Yes.
What are some of your ideas that you plan on doing to do that?
Obviously, easy stuff. Facebook would be an easy one. Water bills. Also, invite people to come and discuss the issue with me personally in my office. I plan to do some walking around and talking to people in person. You can do a whole bunch of things. Put in the newspaper. There's so many things I can be doing that would beat the standards that have been met before. Any recommendations, please? I'm down to do good work. Do a lot of work.
I think we're gonna have to have some meetings where we address it and encourage people to come, get
course.
that out there and
Of course.
let them know what our plan is. I think a clear-cut plan is absolutely needed to convince the
I think we
community.
can easily decide which funds this money would go to, for street construction, stormwater, and all that. That's the easy part for the most part. It's just, like, obviously telling residents that, hey, trust us, we will do this, because it's going to general fund, I believe, first,
Yeah.
and it goes from there to be appropriated to these different.
All income tax dollars goes to.
And I also recommend, if council would like to, I would recommend we also remove the street levy, should this be approved by the residents, and we also get rid of the special assessment for sidewalks. I don't want it to come off as a double dip. I know it's property tax, not income tax, but I still think it would be a good decision to remove both of those taxes.
Couldn't agree with that more.
Amongst maybe other special assessments.
Well, I think you have to understand that, you know, a 1% is gonna generate about $1.5 million, somewhere in that neighborhood, so you can do the math, right? 0.5% that we asked for is gonna generate about $750,000. 0.75% should be about $1.2 million, somewhere in that. Obviously, those are not fixed numbers, because our income tax revenue it varies every year, so I mean, 1/4%, you know, will get you somewhere around $450,000. So just, you know, there's the math of what you.
If you get rid of the other one, what did they add up to?
What, 50% and 75%? Half is 750.
No,
When
the
you
2
said-
mil levy?
No.
Oh,
The
that.
assessment.
Well, I know the assessment's 60,000.
Yeah, the assessment's only $60,000. The other one's the 2 mil levy that he's talking about.
I know.
I think the street levy is
It's
$106,000
$106,000 in generous. That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would then subtract off that?
Yes.
Off of that?
Yes. That would be my recommendation to council. Obviously, I can't decide that, council would.
Paul, I apologize, but I don't think there's, so if you did a 0.5%, if you did a 0.5% generates $750,000, you would, if you just got rid of that, you wouldn't subtract from the $750,000, right?
You kind of would, because
Well-
you're giving up this.
Agreed, I agree with
That's
that
what I mean.
100%. Nope, I'm following you on
Yes.
that, but.
I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
if we ask for 1% and we are saying we want this 1%, we will no longer take this from you, that we aren't cutting ourselves short on this end. That's what I'm saying.
So I'm a little confused on, you want to do away with the assessment that we just put on for sidewalks, correct?
Correct. That is my
Well,
recommendation.
that's why, I'm sorry, Dee, that's
Should just
right.
be approved.
That's, I guess we just have to say, cut ourselves short, we have to try to figure out what kind of new revenue we're trying to generate, that's all. So.
Right, but
yep.
all I'm saying is that the
No, I
the
got you.
1%
I'm following
is
you.
1.5 million, is that what
Yes,
you said?
correct.
Okay, so, but in all actuality,
We need
it is
1.5
1.5 million, but you're giving back $162,000
Yes.
out of that 1.5.
If I may also.
Which is, makes sense.
I will also have to say, this, us increasing to 2% also means the JED can increase to 2%, which means more than that too. Should the JED board decide,
Yeah,
after the fact.
don't get so.
After
that's-
the fact.
Yeah, that's a different discussion.
But that's something I don't see that being a problem, but that's obviously a different discussion. So there's other income coming in from that too.
Okay.
And again, as everyone's very well aware of, income tax is paid by people who don't even live here sometimes. Obviously, people who live here and work here, yes, but not everyone who pays that lives here. Property tax is paid by people who live here. So this would be, I think, it'd be more advantageous to the local resident to get those less taxes for them being local and charge the people coming into work more in a way.
But when the taxes are double, what are you talking about less? What are you talking about? My income tax is-
County appraisal, that's something different, but
Dee, I'm
the
sorry.
street levy and all that's coming out of your property.
I just have a question on the assessment that we just put on last year for the
Yes.
sidewalks. So you want to do away with that, so is that going to be included in here? We're still going to draw the money out of here to do sidewalks, because we have to do
Yes,
sidewalks.
it is.
Yes,
So
this would be for sidewalks and streets and stormwater, anything you see, you think about a street, that's what this is for. Water and sewer is not included, but there's more funding out there for water and sewer. I think Brian can attest to that than there is for these other
Okay.
items.
Locally, there is, Brian?
What's that?
Locally?
No. Grant money, there's more monies available in grants for water and sewer than I believe there is.
For local.
But Brian has done a great job, I think everyone can attest also,
As
that
far as local
when it
money?
comes to thinking ahead,
That's not-
he's got water lines put in, lead line service replacement's gonna be done this year, the CSO, I mean, go on and on, the water line, the water loop, I mean, this guy's thought years ahead, and I think that's gonna come back to help us a lot, when you think about reconstructing a lot of these streets that need love, but don't need a water line now. That's my better.
So we need to make a decision on that, you said by the next meeting.
Yes.
Not next Tuesday, but the meeting, or by next Tuesday.
Tuesday, July 14th.
And
Because-
what percentage?
Yes,
If you move forward, what percentage would you be asking for?
yes.
All right.
And I will talk to council individually or even in person, whatever, about what they feel comfortable doing in that regard. But again, things are not getting cheaper. It's over $1 million a mile been operating for decades now. Okay, I'm done.
Oh, you've got 4 other points you
I
want to.
do.
Oh, I forgot we were still on that.
Yeah. There's still interest in the Danon property. I just want to throw that back out there. It's still there, still right next to our park. Still good.
Yep.
There's interest by who, Paul? By the village or by somebody private?
No, I just mean we still need to think about whether that's
Mhm.
something that we want to look at.
For
I
what?
would,
Yeah, for what?
Yeah,
purpose?
That's been my question.
That's the
all
main
along.
reason why we put it on the agenda, to discuss for what? What do we
well, I
envision
know
us
Dave
being able
had
to do with
some ideas, and so I prefer him to share them.
that? Okay.
You know, he was interested in getting it, to add to our park. I'm sure he wouldn't mind me sharing it, but he wanted to put an amphitheater in.
Okay.
So,
Good idea.
I don't know that it was a full amphitheater, but, you know, a stage to be able to have bands and things like that. So, I know he had mentioned that to me. I'd like him to elaborate on that more. But I know that's why I believe it was put back on here.
An amphitheater, doesn't that kind of direct the mute sound one way? And not, I mean, what would the residents think about having bands playing?
I don't know, I'm just saying, I was just repeating what he said to me.
How much does he want for that property today?
I think he increased it from the 120 he offered before to maybe 130, 140, something along those lines. Another reason why we brought this up is because the DNR has correct me on this, the Land and Water Conservation Fund, where they will pay 50% of those costs for the acquisition of new parkland that we can never get rid of. We actually bought the existing park that we have right now in 1980s with the same money.
Guys, we can't even put equipment in our existing park.
I know,
I mean, come on, drive down through there. And we just got a cost on, like, to put nice park equipment in down there. I got it on my desk. And thank you, Josh. It's $500,000. Guys, so, I mean, let's, before we start adding on to our park, wouldn't it be better if somebody bought that and developed it, hopefully? I mean, that's,
yes.
rather than us
Yep.
take it out of potential productive use. That's, I mean, we keep visiting this, but guys, we just got done talking about asking the citizens for, you're asking my tax dollars, income tax dollars potentially double for income tax, if it goes to 1%, yes ma'am. So, and now we're saying, hey, let's potentially buy a piece of property and we're not sure what we're gonna do with it.
That's what we're talking.
It's kinda,
That's what we're talking. I don't think
it's
we're
concerning to me.
Hey, you know what? If in the meantime they do sell it and build houses down there, then
It would be wonderful.
there we go.
Thank God.
But
That's what I would say.
I think that it's been a few years, and we need to look at alternatives, and this may be that alternative for the village, and maybe we can use it for something else in the future, whatever that may be, or decide upon by council. Just a thought.
Okay, so it's out there.
It's out there.
So the next,
Available.
let's throw it out there, is a baseball backstop, which I have been in the park, I've walked through the park, there's no reason for this, but it keeps coming up. So, we're throwing it out there again.
So the-
From who?
Yeah, we've been.
No, I know that I brought it up. I think, Tim, did you bring it up also?
Yeah, have you been down there during practices?
During practices?
Okay, and people just playing out in the
Mhm.
middle of the field?
Mhm.
I think it'd be really nice to, I mean, we have teams fighting over the field.
Fighting.
And if you could put in a
Fighting.
backstop in a little field, it would be so much nicer than having just people playing out in the field.
If we're gonna do
As a
that.
coach, that's how I enjoyed being on a field. So if I could be on a field in something like that, but I don't know, Josh, you got prices. I mean, it was not a
600.
overabundance of money, so.
How much was it, Josh?
I got a few of that paper that you gave me. I couldn't find anything remotely close to that. I mean, it was closer to, I think 6,000 was the cheapest one.
$6,000 to put a backstop in.
Uh-huh.
And that's just the hardware?
No, that's the fence, that's the complete backstop.
Right, but it's not.
It's not a field.
Oh, correct.
No, it's just
Which
practice.
I don't think the field was what you were
No.
anticipating.
Well, Little League is talking about wanting an extra field.
All right.
And I would rather see a T-ball field put between the two ball fields. And Little League might be willing to do that and approach that, but they're not ready to do it yet. When I coached, we had
Awesome.
in-town league and we had Southwood League.
Yes.
Boys and girls in town, they were totally separate. There were probably twice as many players as there are now.
Can I just, so I just went down to the parade. Did anybody go to that? The parade?
Ball parade.
It was amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
kids were-
Oh, yeah, I get that.
So you're saying then there was twice?
There was probably twice as many when I coached and my kids were there.
And I appreciate it. Please
And-
don't think I'm questioning. We had the same problem, didn't we, Brian, when we
We
coached?
coached travel,
Yeah.
but back when
I
I
know we have the
started
same
in,
problem.
2000 coaching, we, 10U, 12U, both had 4 in-house teams.
Yeah.
Fully teamed,
Yeah.
and both had 2 fully traveled.
And what we did then, we were able to put 3 teams in that corner. If you put a backstop in there, you're only gonna get 1 team. That means nobody else can practice in that area.
So you're saying possibly put because they do got a peewee, a T-ball.
They have a T-ball team, they don't really
No, they
have
got a
a.
field, right? Or it's not?
They use that for the Little League last I knew. I don't know what they use the
one all the way-
one for now.
The back is T-ball.
Yeah. there's
Only
no-
T-ball?
Yeah.
But you could make a smaller T-ball field
Sure.
in between those other two.
I'll tell you, I support
And I-
additional fields for those.
That would, to me, that would be a much more useful expenditure of money if we're gonna go this route. And it may cost a little more, but in the long run, but Little League is looking at doing something there
So
in the
maybe we could
future.
just help support them financially possibly if they pull
If
the
and
trigger.
when they
say-
pull the trigger.
Do you know, are they talking about doing it this year possibly, or is it something that for like next year? So maybe we ought to talk to them, maybe Obi, right? Obi's the one that, Matt Mathis,
Yeah.
Matt, or
Matt
Matt
Ball.
Ball. So maybe we talk to him, because we could put something in the budget for next year if they're looking to possibly try to do something next year. Not maybe not utilize it, but at least start the building of it. And at least have see what their plans are. I think that'd be a good start.
I have a baseball
Coordinate
field
something.
concept that Dennis Lepowski, the previous guy, sent out to my predecessor actually, and we just had a conversation with Matt DeBall a week or two ago now. We didn't talk about this, but I can bring this up with him. So-
Wouldn't that be better than to have an actual field down there, Tim? What's your thoughts? Or you'd like to have a field and a practice?
Well, I mean-
But
Well,
you like the whole thing,
but-
I love it.
But there's other things our park used to be used for, and it's not getting as much use. And that open space is nice for those things. I've seen people out there flying stunt kites. I've seen people, we have remote control shows during the festival. They need that open room
Sure.
to do those things. And if we start putting up backstops, we're starting to impede what we can do.
But would a backstop impede that, Richard? Meaning if we just put a backstop up for them to just use as a practice field, and then, and look, if we do, we do, if we don't, we don't. I'd like to see at least another field going down there. Somewhere for these guys to practice if these teams aren't fighting with each other. I mean, they have
Well,
to.
that's always gonna be a thing.
What I'm
Because you
saying
got
is-
2 for each age
But
group.
at least we could say, look, we at least put another practice field in, and we put another field in, and we put something in to help you guys so that you can spread the wealth, right? Because it is frustrating down there when you schedule practices. I was coach for 3 years down there, and we couldn't get a field.
I was
right?
for about 6 years.
Yeah, so you understand
I
what I'm saying,
understand,
I
what it-
understand what you're
and that's
saying.
why we had 3 teams up in that corner practice.
Yes.
That you can't do with a single backstop.
Yeah.
It gave us more room and more flexibility to do stuff when we were stuck with everybody down there.
So what would they do with the current T-ball? I don't want to belabor this too much.
I don't
We
know,
just need
that's
talk
up to them, and.
We need to just talk to Obi.
No, I guess my only thought was, we got rid of the caboose, we made a little bit of money off the caboose. Why not put a backstop there for the kids?
Sure.
Because if you went down there, most of the time, the kids use the caboose as the
As the
backstop.
backstop. yes.
So, my thought, let's put up a backstop. What's it gonna? It's a nice area for it, so. we can do
Well,
that.
if we appropriate the money for 2027, then we'll put one up if council doesn't.
Okay, where's the money coming
I-
from?
that-
'Cause you
that was-
were sitting here talking about how tight we are.
I'm
on
talking
money,
about,
so I
I'm
wanna
talking
hear-
about 2026, Mr.
Okay.
Bozak, I'm not talking about 2027. That's
Okay.
got a whole appropriation of its own,
Okay,
that will come to you guys to make those decisions.
I just wanna make
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
Let's talk and get costs.
that's exactly right, let's get some costs. That's, you're right, I am
What
gonna talk
about
about it.
the park grant? Will any of that go towards it?
Oh,
The park grant that we always do?
Oh,
with
Nature
coun-
Works?
Bowie County.
Oh, that, yes.
That's a great idea.
Yes.
Because they always give three options, there's a small, medium, and large, I don't know if they continue to do that. I know this year we got the fence up the snow hill. Maybe we could look to them for some funding next year, that's a great idea.
You could also look at Nature Works for that. Nature Works would provide up to 75% of the funding for it.
And Paulette's also advising us on Nature Works and the other DNR program I mentioned.
Thank you,
about.
Paulette.
I'm just a big glutton for parks,
Yeah.
Mr. Gray.
But
I love
we
them.
can also use, I believe, if I'm wrong, we also use that 50/50 match for repaving of the parking lot by the baseball fields, correct? So it's another opportunity to use that for the good of the park. Which I know
Patience
we're all
though,
big on.
you don't always get it
Absolutely.
the first time you apply, so that's the only hitch.
Of course, you don't succeed.
So I'm always gonna bring up funds, right, I'm always going to, would you rather me not? Just
No,
ask.
no,
Just-
but I wanna make sure the money's gonna be there next year.
That's up to, I guess that's why I said if we appropriate it for next year, that's up to you guys. That's for 2026, 2027.
All right, so you're gonna check into that, and we wanna move on to seasonal park maintenance waiver, which we all have,
Oh, job description.
Yeah,
yes.
job description. And I know we've done this in the past, I know that we've even put it out there and nobody took it. So,
Can I ask a question?
yes.
Do you need a seasonal person when the season's almost over, half over?
Oh, this
Oh,
one.
it'd be for
next
I was
year.
kinda-
Oh, next year, okay, I thought it was for this
Yeah.
year, I was
No.
like,
I was kind of wondering the same thing.
Yeah, I was-
I did not,
well, no,
I
I-
did not submit this.
2027,
Okay.
I have the
I-
appointment status there seasonally.
Josh, what do you need,
October
what do you need
31st.
another person?
yeah.
I mean, you're
Um,
full staff, correct? Like, do you believe, I mean, what's going on?
I'll say this, if we had a park man, it would enable us to do a lot more stuff out in the streets. I'm well aware of why you don't like it, because what you've seen over the past, your time on council. I guess when I started as the park man before I transferred to the waterworks. And for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, they had a park man, which enabled everybody
If we're gonna take,
to do this, other stuff
we're gonna.
inside the park.
If we're gonna take you guys out of the parks and not mow it, somebody else is gonna do it, I'm gonna have a big to-do list next year of things to get done, and it's not what's currently getting done, there's gonna be a lot of additional.
That's
Additional.
the thought.
Well, we got a whole lot of patching and street work that we
Well,
could be doing.
Gonna be getting
A
that.
whole lot of tree trimming that we could be doing.
Yes.
A whole lot of other stuff.
Can I mention some
Yes,
things
sir.
for our walkthrough at the park? We failed Little League this year. We didn't get the water fountains out before. There were no water fountains out for the kids to drink out of.
We didn't get the what, I'm sorry.
The water fountains, so you can fill water bottles, you can drink.
What do you mean, we didn't get them turned on, or they
No,
didn't?
they're
They
not
aren't out
there.
there.
They physically are not there.
What happened? Where are they at?
I don't know if there's some in the old high service room, or if Baltz's have
Is
some.
there something wrong? This is the first time I've heard anything
Well,
like that. Oh, my
Well, this is
goodness.
coming from our park walkthrough, and one of the problems that the ball team has is when they run out of toilet paper and don't get it restocked fast enough, people are using paper towels to wipe with. So let's put in some electric hand dryers, okay? The shelter houses, after we run them out,
Or we can just make sure that the toilet paper's stocked. We
well,
can just do that.
that's the Little League.
Well.
It's during their games that this is happening.
Well, whose property is it?
Well, the seasonal employee would help.
Yeah, here we go.
Let's maintain this. Yes, but our shelter houses, have you been down to our shelter houses lately?
I'm just looking at the outsides of them.
Okay.
I drive through the
So
parks.
you
and-
saw the two bottles on top of the shelter houses that have been there since the 4th of July? There's 2 water bottles on top of our shelter
No.
house since the 4th of July.
When was
We
the last
have-
time we did a driver? we did a drive around, I don't know, it was prior to the 4th of July,
Yeah.
just so you know.
We have tape and ribbon on the ceiling of the red shelter house.
Can I say what kind of water bottles are on the top?
One's a Gatorade and one's a water bottle like that. We have tape on the ceiling and we have ribbon on the shelter house because nobody goes in and checks it. Okay? The brooms and dustpans aren't usable. There's no dustpan in the
So,
one shelter house.
is there any way that you can stop up and have a talk with me? I'll schedule something with you and you get concerns of what you found with your walkthrough.
Well-
And we can sit down with Josh and we can Josh along and we will figure out.
This is where a seasonal worker would be very beneficial
Picking up
because
and
they'd be allowed
Yes.
to do with this.
It might be best if I recommend giving a visit of the shelter houses, seeing typically.
Well, you gotta have a key to get in, I just do a drive-through, right? I haven't, so,
We'll get you keys.
no, I'll just go down and see Josh and we'll
Yeah.
go through the park.
We really need new appliances in all the shelter houses.
That's been for a long time. I mean, go in there, they're grungy, they're grimy, they're nasty to even look
Well,
at.
they're rusty.
We're getting the fire extinguishers in there also, that's being worked on. It's pretty much all 9 yards on those things, these shelter houses. But again, the seasonal maintenance employee, the seasonal park maintenance laborer would help free up Josh and his guys for anything outside the park, which they got a lot of catching up to do. I've sent Josh a list of stuff to do today, even, that we need to catch up on, small stuff, and new stuff. But taking care of the shelter houses, mowing the park, painting the lines on the basketball courts, simple stuff even like that. Picking up trash, stuff. You can go on for days. A lot of it's in the job description here. Weed control, simple beautifying stuff that Josh, and no offense to him or his team, don't have as much time for actually taking that kind of personal touch to certain aspects of the park. So,
Are you looking for a 40-hour week during April to October, or end of October?
I was
or-
not, but I mean.
Or are you looking
we
for a
talked
20-hour
about it.
week?
I think we're more so looking at 20, 2024.
I know the last good park man we had was Artie Patterson, and he could do everything in 2.5 days. Now, that being said, there ain't nobody else that could do that in 2.5 days.
I mean,
Dollar says give me a chance and I can. I'll let Marty Patterson.
I'll challenge that one.
So we have our first applicant.
$15. $13 now.
Promote you.
Believe in minimum wage.
All right.
We have more time to talk about this and decide on this before I put it into the 2027 budget if we decide to go that route. Again, this is from April 1st to October 31st, so we're talking about community holes and go from there. Sound good? Okay?
Hey, John.
Yes.
So one thing that I would suggest with your Park and Rec Committee, we just had the state capital budget that was approved. And it's really easy to get park money out of there. We got $215,000 for Lakeview, Ohio, $100,000 for Perrysburg Township. I mean, it's really easy to ask for. You have to start that planning process early though, because your requests have to be submitted by January of the year before the capital budget. So.
Are you saying for like park equipment, Paulette?
Yeah.
Are you talking about anything?
Park equipment. I really like to write it pretty loose and call it park improvements, so you
Yeah,
can
of
slide
course.
the money around a little bit.
What's the maximum request on that?
I
You
mean,
know.
I will be very honest, you can ask for whatever you want. I see the most success coming when you ask for $400,000 or less, and they're gonna give you half of what you asked for. That's why I write them pretty loose. So if they're only giving you half of what you asked for, you can scale your scope back.
And then what's the match?
There is not a match required.
So, okay, of course we'd be
But-
interested in that.
But it certainly bodes better to your legislators if you say, we are budgeting, $25,000 this year, $25,000 next year. With your help, we can make improvements. You're playing the long game on this, though.
Thank you, Paulette.
It sounds like Mason.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I just thought.
Mason, Paulette, and I have been working on quite a few things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite a few things.
Thank you, Paulette.
Takes time. And persistence.
But perfectly leads into the new playground equipment.
I know, it does,
It just
doesn't
kind
it?
of just goes right in there.
So if I may, Paul.
Go ahead.
Paul Watt, and the history of this. So, Mason and I kept trying to reach out to Wood County Plays for, I don't know, 8 months. They finally got back to us about a month or so ago, and basically said they're not interested in doing more, basically. But they did pass on the information and some know-how to us for this gentleman named Mike McGilba of Ventura, who visited last week, 2 weeks ago, if I'm just flying, with Dee, Mr. Bozak, Dee, Richard, and Paula, and he gave us the little spiel, and he provided us with this packet, basically, which you all have, and basically his estimated total was $545,000 for the conceptual design that he provided us.
Do you remember-
Obviously, we
I'm
can
sorry.
change that, but that's just what we have on the list
Do
right
you
now.
remember the guy's name that put the equipment in down at the,
Yeah, and I just learned he's going.
That's
He's gone.
That's mid-states. He went to Cincinnati. We have a new guy named Eric who we just met
We got quotes from the
virtually,
guys?
not for something like this, only for like a new mulch for the playground, basically.
yeah, we could
But-
probably, because I know they do this also, that's what he was trying to
Which
push
is-
us to.
I agree.
To get a, so we probably need to just get another cost, say, can you do something like this and get us a cost?
Which we might just do, yes.
Well, I think we needed to.
And I think my thought is, I like sticking to one playground company because they all kind of different pieces of equipment, different tools, hard to move stuff, from my understanding at least. And obviously it's easier and more efficient to talk to one person instead of five.
But you want to get competitive bids.
And we want to
In
get
everything we do,
Yes, of
in
course.
everything we do.
At
guys.
that cost,
We
you have
need to,
to.
yeah, we need to get, we need to,
But this is a good starting point about what the cost may be for XYZ equipment. And again, this guy came to us, we didn't go out to him, but I reached out to Midland for another quote. Is a prudent idea.
yeah, it's.
And if you look at the quote, and he said right up front that pretty much you're gonna spend as much on surfacing as you are on equipment. So the surfacing comes in, I think, at $287,000. So, but surfacing is an important part of.
Absolutely.
Because, like I had said, our park equipment, what we have now, the kids play on, they appreciate it, the community appreciate it. It just hasn't had a lot of love. There's things down there that need to go. And the concept of the mulch, it's gotta go. You can't, if I go down with my littles and I've got a 6 to 7-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, I can't push the stroller to keep up with the other two. You can't, if you're on crutches, you can't walk around mulch. Like, it needs some love. And it needs a surface that everybody can be on and not just certain people.
So inclusive.
Yes, we want to make it very inclusive.
So, with that being said, Paul, what's your thoughts? Because I know that Aviant in the past had talked about donating some of the rubber material, and there was like, even like different, that, but you're not even.
But that's like a mulch kind of.
Yeah.
It is, it's
Right,
a
and
rubber
we're looking
mulch.
at a solid surface.
Yeah.
Something that you can wheel strollers on, wheel wagons.
A
We'll get the
wheelchair.
kids around, wheel
North Star of
chairs.
what Carter Park has.
Mayor, if you go over to the Cube, over in Finley.
Yeah, over
Miracle
Miracle Park.
They have a park, like she's talking about.
They
It
did
has the
that.
hard mat and everything.
They did that.
The hard mats.
Yeah.
Okay, that's because I'm saying we don't want concrete, right? But you want to put rubber mats on the concrete. Is that what I'm understanding?
It's kind of like that, but it's a more
There's
softer
different
impact.
Okay,
So like
well,
kids
okay,
could
that's
fall.
okay. What if somebody fell? Isn't there a liability?
It's
No,
a rubber,
it's
it's
a-
intended for this, it's
Yeah.
designed for
Gotcha,
this.
so
Yeah.
it's not a concrete.
It's a
Correct.
solid,
I
it's
got
a
you.
solid pour rubber mat.
I'm following.
Yeah,
Yep,
if
I
you were
got
to go,
it.
we can take a trip over to the Cube one day.
That's what we'll do.
That way
Yeah.
we can get it.
I
And
love it.
Carter Park and Bowling
Yeah.
Green,
Yeah.
like,
Fostoria just got inclusive park, North
Perfect.
we got one.
I get it.
Perrysburg.
and it's a big cost.
Oh, yeah.
We know this is a big cost. would really love to have, like, the community come together to help do this. So like part of their pricing is volunteers putting it up instead of them sending people to install. They would supervise the installation, make sure it's done correctly, but so that the community has more ownership of it. You know, I'm a music booster, so I am not against, you know, knocking on doors and selling chickens. So, like,
No roosters.
no roosters. There are so many chickens out at Husing's old place with the horse barn. That was open and they had to have like 60 chickens in there. Like, the poor chickens. But anyways, I'm just saying, it's a long-term, hopefully not like 10-year long-term. We need to seriously look at it. We need to look at our budget and like come up with a.
So can this be done in phases?
Right.
So like, what's this, okay, so
I-
the surface, is that type of surface able to be done in phases? Like we do a certain area and then we add on to
I
it?
don't think so. I think this is a one and done. I think you have to.
The surface
because-
has to be one and done.
Because you have to, like, all of this has to be dug and secured, and then they pour that surface.
So you're
and-
saying the entire project has to be done, all the
Yeah,
equipment and
I think
everything?
it's a one and done.
I would be
Should
checking
be a
on
home
that
run
to
for our
see if
part.
it could be done in phases with a different company then, to see if there's a way to, you know, we allocate so much money, we do this area, and then we add on to it. And
Well,
it's pretty easy.
and, like, if we said we were allocating this much, that's when I would hope I could get a, like, park committee kind of thing to do fundraising for it, to knock on the doors, to, like, I don't think that.
We can get solicit.
Yeah, I don't think that the village is gonna be able to cough up $500,000
No,
for a park.
Insane.
But that doesn't mean that we can't do some and get some other places.
We need sponsors
Yeah.
and all that, AVNs, HPJ, VSRM, get them.
Or as
expand
Paulette
out there.
pointed out, there's Nature's Works that.
Capital budget
Right.
money.
And it's capital budget money too.
And Land
Yeah.
and Water can also, pick up half the tab for that. Land and Water, the minimum grant is 50,000, the maximum grant is 500,000. And it's a 50-50 match.
Oh, there goes half the cost.
Yeah, so Mason's gonna be very busy.
That could be doable.
Yeah.
Well,
That's why I brought it.
really, Mason can start right now as you're talking about these things by collecting those meeting minutes and as you talk about fundraising ideas. And that grassroots background information goes a million miles in
It makes it-
demonstrating community
Yes.
support for the project.
Yes, it's always before you ask somebody for money, it's what have you done to earn it yourself?
Yeah.
Always. So I guess, put some thought into it. Let me know if this is something you want me to run with. Because I'm, like I said, I can throw everything I have at it.
I'm kinda sick and tired of us piecemealing pieces of equipment up there, they don't match the other stuff, and.
The matching doesn't bother me.
It
It doesn't bother me because
My OCD and ADHD and all that, but, I think we need
I
a
just
home
want
run,
a
we need to bring
safe,
people to the park.
inclusive playground. That's what I want.
I want that also. Find money.
I think we need to reach out to some other companies and see if we can
Oh,
do this
yeah.
in phases.
Yeah.
Well, do it in phases, see if we can,
Let me see
um,
further, and then-
see what's out there, what else is out there. Because I can't imagine that there aren't companies that go, yeah, we can do this in phases and we can.
There's quite a few companies out there. But yeah, but Ventura is the one that Wake County Plays used, so if you want something similar to what you see in Carter Park, whatever, this is the company we would use.
I'm sure there's
in
plenty
that
of companies
regard.
out there that do the same.
Oh, I'm sure, very similar, but not the same.
I don't wanna belabor Public Works, could we bump Corey Road repave over to Public Works, that's where it belongs. And we got Josh Long is still here, so we can get him out of here, and Caleb Patterson's here, because he went down and looked at it with us, he actually helps.
Corey Road?
Corey Road repave. We went down and looked at it, we got a whole.
It needs to be widened.
That's the thing.
Otherwise, we're throwing our money right out the window.
Whenever you're ready, whenever these
Well,
ready.
If everybody, if no one has any more questions on the playground equipment or anything else, we'll move on to the Corey Road.
And that will save us some money. So this shouldn't take too long. So obviously, we've got some old estimate engineers. I don't know how old they're.
It's not terribly
It's an
difficult.
updated estimate from like last year.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's old. I don't have a bunch of copies, so you might want to take one, pass it around, share it. So we went out and looked at this to kind of get an idea. I've got two friends, one that actually, Cale Patterson is my nephew. He actually operates a paver and, do you run the mill also?
Yep.
And the mill machine. So I wanted, and then Chad Bratz, who's built roads all his life. I wanted to talk to people that kind of knew, because to get an idea. Now, obviously, we don't know what the cost would be for this, that just kind of gives us a ballpark, but we did say, so the south side of the road's really not that bad. The north side of the road needs to be cut out and patched in certain areas, which we would have to put that in as additional. I'd like to see the road get at least extended by 1 foot on the north side. That would take it from 19 feet on average to 20 feet. And then the whole road needs to be bermed, which will protect the edges. And I think we could get, and that's not in this cost. So that's what I wanted to share. Would you agree with that, Caleb? That would probably.
Oh, yeah, you berm it.
Cut out?
Yeah, you cut out most of your damage on the other side of the road for your berming. And then if you go 20 foot wide, it would actually push that water down into your ravine that has cut on the north side of that road.
Helps get.
Because right now, if you're at 19 foot, it's not, that water's not going nowhere besides back inside the road.
That's exactly right.
A road normally damages from the bottom up. It doesn't never go down from the top down unless you put an additive on it to blow it out from the top up.
When the water gets under it.
So when the water gets under it, freezes it, blows it out, next thing you know, you're getting holes and everything into it.
So we'd like to just maybe take a look at drawing up a rescope of work and go out and get some, put it out to bid and see what it comes back at.
Sealed bids.
Yep, get some sealed bids. We've got, so we've got some money in the what do we got in the I think there's 100-some thousand in the street levy. I should have brought that with me, I apologize. So anyhow, we've got money in the street levy, adequate funds, quite certain. But we also have,
My thought, if I may, sir,
Please,
that
interject.
is, while if OPWC is eligible to pay for some of this, I would hope to go out for sealed bid this fall and have construction in spring 2027, early spring 2027. So we can actually apply for OPWC in the fall also and use those funds to take down some of the costs on this project. That's my thought, if eligible, which is it?
Okay.
Right now, just real quick, Paul, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but we got $110,000 in there for this year. Obviously, next year it's gonna generate another 106,000. So if we decided to pull from that fund, but we'll give you options of where you guys would like to take it from and let that one continue.
If not eligible.
What do you got in the, please go ahead, Paul.
No, with OPWC, we did our kickoff in the office last week. So those applications are typically due, I believe it's September this year, or the district you are in.
That's right.
They really like to fund road projects, that is their priority. And typically you can do 50% grant, 50% zero loan. That's a good setup. The maximum I would ask for is about $499,999 because they start deducting points if you go over that amount. The hitch with OPWC is the application would go in September. You are not really, truly, honestly going to know that you have the funds available until probably June of next year.
Okay.
So you're not allowed to sign a contract. You can go out to bid earlier than that, but you can't sign the contract until you have your grant agreement through the state.
I think council would be willing to wait a few more months to get that kind of funding. This is about $60,000 to $80,000 we're thinking for this project. It's Quarry Road repave. There's no utilities in the way, no utilities at all.
Okay.
No sidewalk. It's our northern boundary basically with the township.
And then the permissive fund that I'm always referring to that generates $26,000. Thank you, Paul. Is there any way you could come to every one of our meetings?
Yeah. She's like, yes, for a salary of, no, y'all start at 5:30, and I love that. 6:30
Hey,
to
Josh,
7:30.
I'm just gonna throw this out there as a paver operator, we don't appreciate that couple more months going on. It's 320 degrees on that asphalt, about it. I'm sweating every day.
So we have, in the permissive fund, it's required by the ORC that you have to spend that on roadway. There's $151,000 in there that we've allowed to grow and accumulate. So we've got some options for funding for this project that we want to do.
How would we best explain to the village why we would do that road over another road?
Over what other road?
Any of them there, and we've got,
It's a lot.
So the worst
like,
road.
to me, like we're saving that.
So
That's
the
gonna
worst.
cost us more if we,
It's a lot
Wait.
cheaper and it
Yeah.
helps get people
Yeah,
to school safely.
but that's a road like that just got mentioned that there's no utilities.
right.
So the worst road that you could probably drive on right now in the village of North Baltimore, in my opinion, is
Second Street?
Beecher.
Oh.
Would you say
Okay.
Second Street?
It's Second.
Second Street, yeah,
Second
that's
Street.
actually,
East
I mean,
Water.
yeah, that's close, but if you go down if you go down, is it Beecher, right?
North Beecher.
North Beach.
North Beach.
Right.
North
The
Beecher.
entirety.
Yeah, so,
West Broadway.
I mean, it's down to dirt, but we don't have, we got water.
Sewer, there's no water. No.
There's no water?
No new water mains have been ran down that.
That's what I'm saying.
Correct.
That we need, because that's why that road keeps getting tore up, because our water,
Correct.
we got bad water lines. So, I would say, that if there was anywhere I'd like to spend this money on that, I would like to do Beecher. If that was my opinion.
Right,
That's
I'm just
because-
saying, we're gonna go ask for money, which we need
Yeah.
to. Then we're gonna do a road that's kinda iffy, like, we have to look at the optics of all of it.
I would say, in my opinion, if somebody asked me, Paul, I would say, don't ask me for no money if you're not doing any roadway projects, right? You're not even spending what you got. I'm not saying we should deplete them.
Correct.
Well, I mean, we've got road, what road do you think, I would ask.
No, I think that's a very important road to
This
do.
isn't a me and you debate, this is what other road could we do for less than $100,000, potentially
Right, but that's the information that
we
they
at least
need.
want to be using this money to road
Correct.
improvements. There's no other road, so let's say that we was gonna try to finish Main Street, right? You're talking $2 million.
Right.
Let's talk about Water Street, right? I mean, you're talking about millions of dollars to water. Everywhere where the water line is done, is a massive project. This is a road that we can improve that is heavily traveled, more than I think people might,
Oh,
and it's in, the north side's deteriorating in a very fast way, right? So, that's some of the talking points that I would say that this is a road that we can at least get some money that's sitting there, and at least do some more road improvements, I guess, rather than, I mean, we don't have millions of dollars sitting
I
there.
have questions for Paulette. So you said that up to almost 500,000. Can you use that on multiple projects?
You can use it on multiple streets. I highly encourage it be contiguous so that they kind of all touch each other. A couple other things that you're going to want to do for this application is you'd want a pavement condition rating survey. And it's fancy talk for some engineer comes in and has this little scoring criteria and they say how good or bad it is. We just finished doing this in Grand Rapids, Ohio. They have their worst streets, and they've identified which 5 they're going to use their street levy money to pave, and then which ones they're going to do OPWC application for. One of them is 3rd Street, and they're going to widen a portion of 3rd Street, which sounds kind of like this, whatever road it is.
Corridor.
Okay. And then also, you can also justify this pavement condition rating and traffic count. And you have Lake Erie West that will come out here for free. I'm cheap, okay, just so you know. Lake Erie West will come out here for free and do traffic counts. But you're gonna have to get any requests in quickly because there's summer interns leave at the end of July.
So if we wanted to do, let's say, and I don't expect you to understand, Paul, but a bigger substantial project, like, and I'm talking about maybe a little bit of water line with a project like this, where would we go? Because then I would be talking about like a Beecher Street, right? That we're gonna go after a massive project where we're getting the water line done and then the street repavement and that's,
they can be combined in a single OPWC project as well.
The water line with the
And the
roadway.
street, yeah, because we would call it street repair. So that only works if the water line is under the street. If the water line is under the sidewalk, I can't justify
Sure, that's
it.
right. Brian, where's the water line on Beecher?
In the road.
There you go.
Okay.
Beautiful, so there's a qualification. That's all I needed.
Yep.
And we are utilizing, as I said before, Lake Erie West for traffic counts already, and maybe PCR. I know Client Pillar did give us a quote recently for PCR. I just haven't brought the council's attention yet until I talked to Lake Erie West a little bit more, an
Yeah.
FYI. So it's something I'm meeting with Raj over Lake Erie West by the end of the month.
I was supposed to be quick on that, so I just want to, you guys want us to throw something together for this project? All right, thank you.
Do you want the resolution?
Yeah, we need to, yeah.
Can they run away?
Yeah, thank you guys very much. Yeah,
Oh,
yes.
we still
Well,
need
we still
Brian.
got it.
What do we need, Brian, tell us, move it up.
That's-
Are we done with
Patiently
public
waiting.
works? Any other questions or comments for public works? All right, we're gonna move on to public utilities. Eric, water tap fees.
So currently, we here recently have replaced some, or installed with some new homes going out to Dole, some service lines. So recently, I've had to reorder material that we have not had to order in quite a long time. So give you an idea of what it costs. So our tapping fees is about it is $900 if the water main's on the same side of the road. Well, that doesn't even come close to cover the cost of the material that we are using. So currently, right now, if we have to get a 60-foot roll of copper, that's $663. A meter is $425. We're already over $900. So that's not counting the tap saddles, labor, anything. So I would recommend that we move our tapping fees from $900 if it's on the same side of the road to $2,000. So overall, all material to do the last service line that we done was roughly $1,475 and some odd cents. That doesn't include the labor to put that in. That doesn't include diesel fuel, doesn't include the cost of us going back, tilling up the yard and planting grass. So I think we would still be well below what everybody else is doing for tapping fees, and not losing money. I mean, we can't lose money.
Yeah. Brian, what's the opposite side of the road?
1,100. So my suggestion would be to bring those up to 2,000 if it's on the same side of the road, 2,200 if it's on the other side of the road. Because if it's on the other side of the road, then we have to dig up two spots. We have to dig up the main spot, and we have to dig up the customer side. And then we have to run a bore through there. Depending on what's in the ground, it could take 30 minutes to get through there, or it could take 4.5 hours. So depending on what's under the ground. So
Is 22 enough for the other side?
I believe so. I believe so. I think for right now cost, it is. I think this is something that probably needs to be moving forward, evaluated at least every 3 years to see where we're actually at.
I think if you're going to change that, I would also look into commercial tap-in fees. Because when Sheets was like, is this for real? You're like, what, is it bad? And you're like, holy moly, you guys are very generous.
We did up a
So-
lot of our rates.
So,
A year and a half, 2 years ago, but I agree, we need to.
especially with commercial. I mean, it's in their development. They actually, Sheets are saying, we don't mind paying this stuff, so, and I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna get on Chase and find out and recollect, but
Right.
that was,
I recall
I mean,
what that
they just almost chuckled at us, and I'm glad you remember. Paula and I shared that with you. So I'm sorry, so I would say if you're gonna look at it, I would look at the whole thing, commercial and residential.
Okay, so I'm just looking at commercial for right now, because that's all we do. Or residential, I'm sorry, commercial side, we can look at to see what it would cost to put a main in or whatever.
So do
But
we
even,
need
I'm sorry, but even if they tap into somebody else, like if the line's already there, like a rotary feed, right? They still
Correct.
have to tap in.
Correct, but they have to pay that regardless.
Right, but on top of the rotary feed, there's also a tap in.
Correct.
We could talk about
Correct.
this later.
So do we want to throw this to the committee to have a committee meeting on updating these fees?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Eric, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I believe an ordinance is needed, so I'll work with council on that once the board facts.
Yeah, because it's in the codified ordinance book.
Yeah.
Correct.
There's all these rates.
So whenever you're ready.
Change it.
Okay, yeah, I'll make time to do that.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us know that, because we wouldn't, if it's not for you.
Well,
we wouldn't know.
I didn't know it until
Until
we
you
ordered
did.
some parts, and I was like, holy smokes, this is out of control, so, yeah. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention that we need to do something with that. We don't have anything, as far as I know, coming here in the near future, so it's not like, I don't believe it needs to be an emergency or anything like that. We just need to address it and then make sure that we're at least looking into it every few years to make sure we're at least still covering our costs.
Okay. Anything else that you want to share with us tonight?
Not at this moment.
Eric, anything else?
No, good.
Any
Thanks, Brian.
questions for Eric or Brian? All right, we will move on to economic community development.
Thank you guys. Thank you so
Brian?
much.
These guys,
Well, we're going to recap on the village festival that we had. I wanted to have some more concrete numbers for you, but I don't have all the invoices for like t-shirts and stuff like that, so hopefully I'll have those maybe next week. But we have gotten we hit a home run, council, we hit a home run. So the amount of comments that we had and likes on the videos that were shared, close to 1,000 likes and well over 100 positive comments. So we did good. We did come in under budget, and then with the donations and vendor fees and things like that, we got it down. And like I said, I don't have the shirt total and I don't have the pony rides, but we're right around 16,000 without those that we spent. So did fairly well for everything we had. And like I said, I'll have more to add to that, so I'm hoping it actually gets down around 15,000.
What did you guys use for a tent for the horses?
Ponies ended up renting a tent from
Did
the
you
same
rent
company that we rented for the band and then beer tent. So they needed that. They weren't going to bring them if it wasn't a
Right.
tent. So.
Right. That's why I'm asking.
Yep, no, they needed the tent.
Yep.
Now, they did agree that we didn't have to charge for the train ride, so that was a plus. But my understanding is that anything he made on the ponies comes off the $2,500 that we spent. So that's what I'm waiting for, to get the invoice from him. And then the shirts, I need the invoice on that and haven't received it. I reached out to her again today to see if I could get that. So just a couple of loose ends that I got to do. The water is, Paula took, she's taken like 20 cases. The church took 5 and.
Fine.
Well, yes, I mean, they're paying for it, but I paid for it, so it's just gonna
Yes.
be what we charge the village, is only what we use. But the fire department's gonna purchase the rest of it, so we didn't go backwards on that or anything. All the shirts, t-shirts that we had extra sold, this gentleman was supposed to come up and pay. I'm gonna see if I can find a number for him if he doesn't want it. We do have a 1-2X left to sell, which I'm sure I can get rid of that on Facebook if not. But yeah, that was, lots of positive feedback on it. Met with Mason and Josh, what was that, last week? A week early?
when was that? In your calendar?
I think it was a week early, but anyhow. I had been thinking, we've talked and talked and talked since I've been on council about we need to do something with downtown. We've got to have something to get the owners of the buildings motivated to upgrade our downtown. So I was thinking maybe we could, and I talked to Josh Mason about this, I would like council to consider having like a grant program of our own, where we appropriate some money for repairs and like the outside of the buildings to be upgraded, but the owner has to match it. There would be an application process. There would be certain criteria we'd want to, have them meet. And then we'd want to come up with an amount of money that we would want to.
Do we have that isn't there a program that started with that?
Downtown revitalization. Or
Yeah,
is that
like
the-
in-
There's a lot more red tape with
Downtown
that.
Paul,
Yeah.
We got a couple of our guys, a couple of
Yeah,
our
we have a
businesses.
couple
that are
business
looking
owners interested.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
just so you guys know, we used to allocate $30,000 a year. Now, that was just to help. It wasn't for downtown, but it was for people, for dilapidated homes and stuff like that. It was almost similar to what you're talking about.
Well, I'd like to see it for downtown.
Sure, I
And
agree.
then it would have to be a match program, so
Yeah,
if it
I
was
like
whatever
that.
we, and whatever we didn't use would roll over to the next year.
Sure.
So it would grow. So if there was, somebody didn't use it, and say we did 30,000, it was 60,000, and they needed 100. Well, now they've got 50 that they can apply from us, and they would have to do 50. There would be lots of stipulations as far as it would have to be a licensed contractor, it would have to be, the work would have to be completed before we, and inspected before we ever
Release funds.
released any money for it. But if we don't invest in our downtown, how can we expect anybody else to? So I really think, I'd really encourage council to think about this, think about a program that we could implement, and how much we would want to implement each year.
Gee, could you guys maybe, I don't know, by the, I guess I would ask by, I would say November, maybe have some, what you're looking for as far as qualifications, because that's when we'll be doing the budget, where we could say, how much do you guys, then you'd be ready to roll this thing out potentially in 2027, right?
And that's,
So
that
you
was
guys-
my thought, to be able to get this ready for 2027, so that we could.
You guys would have kind of the, here's what the qualifiers would be, here's what we would cover. That would give us an idea of, if we're just talking about some paint, that's easy, and I know we're talking about more than that.
Right.
Right, but we don't have to put this much up. But if we're saying, look, we go downtown, look, what Junior Haynes just did his building is fantastic to start, right? So, but if you could kind of get what you're looking at to cover, then we, I think as a group, could get a better understanding of how much we'd want to allocate. And then you guys would be ready to pull the trigger on that for the 2027 year and actually roll this thing out.
Okay.
That,
So does council think they would support that? Because I'll have a meeting and we will sit down and talk about and work out those details of what stipulations there would be, what kind of money
Yep.
we're looking to put towards this, and see what the rest of council agrees. So-
I got into some projects with the city of Toledo in economic development. I have some concerns.
Okay.
I'll reach out to you and we'll
Okay.
talk.
Well, I'll schedule a meeting, and a committee meeting, and we'll go ahead and discuss that then, so.
It's just little things that we need to make sure we address before
Okay.
we
Absolutely.
roll
Put no
into something like
stipulations.
that. Yes.
Yes.
it's awesome. All
Okay.
right.
All right, I will get a meeting scheduled on that then, and let everybody know when that'll be. And the other thing is, I believe the cemetery is currently being surveyed. We're waiting for that.
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay, so once that survey comes down, then we're gonna put it to zoning,
Planning commission.
and then hopefully be able to advertise after that.
Yes, we already have one person, 400 West Elm, is currently merging their parcels. That's also the planning commission. I also have someone at Mystery who wants to do a merger. That's also the same planning commission, trying to organize this all at once. So we do one meeting instead of 12.
Okay.
Those other things.
One thing, though, that you mentioned is, in an email, I believe, that the lease is coming up for farming.
Farm lease.
Yes.
I think we want to be very cautious. Now, first of all, I don't think that lease, it may be up in November, but we wouldn't have to sign it until the first of the year, which would give us a little more time to get this advertised and see, because farmers don't need to know until January if they're farming it, and to order their seed and fertilizer.
Are you saying just extend it until, I don't think that's a problem, right?
Well, no, what I'm saying is I don't want to get locked into an agreement.
If there's other, because I don't know what you're talking about, which I'll talk to you guys some other time.
Well, in November, our lease is up.
Yeah, for the farming, got that.
Okay. If we want to advertise that, to see if we can get a contractor in here, again, with stipulations.
I'm sorry, you're talking about like a contractor to build something to put that, no, I got you.
Right.
Don't tie it, and I talked to
Don't tie it up by
Don't tie it up,
having,
that's exactly
that's what I'm
right.
saying, I think we need to be very cautious about renewing that lease. I'm not saying don't renew it, but we just need to be cautious on the wording.
Well, what is it? I think it's two years right now, you can always make that a one-year agreement.
We could, but we could also put in a stipulation that if it gets sold and developed, then there's ways of doing that as far as assessing how many acres they're gonna go in and destroy and stuff like that, so.
They just have to recoup anything that they have, we
And
don't want the
cost.
farmer can't take a loss.
Exactly, right, and so we
Gotcha.
want to put that in there, but because we are planning on wanting to develop it and sell it to a developer, then we need to make sure we have those in that contract coming
I'll
up.
work on the verbiage on that. I think we can still do a 2-year, and developer can still buy it and then wait and then.
But you don't, I think
ready
you wanna
to
do
go.
1 year at the very most, I don't think you want
Yeah.
it tied up,
If-
because he'll renew
That might
it
be
each year.
If there's somebody interested, I mean, potentially, anyway.
Right.
Correct, but we're not gonna know that right away, because we're not gonna get this thing listed until probably end of August, with everything, with the
More so, yeah.
the process that we have to go through. And that's what I said, that doesn't give us a whole lot of time. That's why I would recommend only renewing for a year.
Dee, are you saying, because, are you saying to advertise to sell that property?
Correct.
Under certain?
Under certain circumstances, absolutely, it'd be.
So then I would ask, are we allowed to, are we allowed to advertise that and then enter into an agreement? I don't know if that's legal or not. That's something we should
You
probably look
can
into.
run it by, but yes, as long as you put it in your contract, that
Yeah.
it's for sale, and that that's a possibility.
Yeah.
We'll have to go through.
But go through the attorney and see
Yeah, I
how
would
they
just
would
ask
work
to
it.
make sure that we wasn't, yeah.
I bought a lot that way.
Okay.
I paid the farmer $700, he stayed off my lot.
Right. Like in the agreement, you would have to agree that if any of his, like if it was planted, or he had put fertilizer on it, he would get reimbursed for that.
Sure.
So, that's how you get around that.
Anything that he has.
I'm gonna talk to a realtor and legal counsel on how to best approach this, but
Right.
I'll get back with you on that.
That's all I have. Does anyone have any questions? And then we'll move on to personal policy and ordinance.
We have a bicycle ordinance to move forward with on next Tuesday. Is there any questions about it that's in here?
I believe that also needs to be added to our festival, because, I mean, it was terrible.
It is in there that any closed road, including the festival.
But I think it needs to be in the
festival policy.
Because we had a horrible time with
Yeah.
kids
Yep.
riding their
It would
scooters
be.
and bikes, I mean.
Did the cops
booking.
not police it or?
I think I rushed more than they did, but, I mean, yeah.
Did they
it
know
was-
that they were supposed to?
Right, there's what I'm.
Yeah.
there's
No,
what
I
I'm
did, I
asking.
talked to them about it, and so, but they all agreed, that we need to do something. So, you know, the fact that we don't have an ordinance kind of ties their hands a little bit. But these kids were booking through extremely crowded streets.
Yeah, but it doesn't tie their hands, they could say, look, we're.
Right, and I know they did it
For
up
safety,
front,
but I appreciate the fact that we're gonna have legislation on it, but.
Right.
But
But
they-
there was an incident where a father had to quickly move his child out of the way because they almost got hit. So,
Yep.
you know, it is definitely something we need to
I
address.
don't believe it
in
needs to
courts.
be in the event policy, but the event form, it needs to be included, I believe.
Yeah, just so that whoever's putting the event on knows that that's the
Yes.
situation.
Yeah, agreed, absolutely, and the police needs to make sure that they're policing it,
Absolutely.
and we can always put up signs. And we can always put up a sign, well, signs are gonna have to be up anyhow for downtown
Yes.
if you guys adopt this, so that'll take care of that, okay?
Yeah, I'll go with Jonathan then.
Yeah.
It goes forward that way. But yes, made some changes to it if you want to look at them, but more so just grammar and stuff. But what did we want to do about Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3 on multi-use paths? If they, say CR 18 gets built in 2030, do we want to allow all three to be operational on that multi-use path out there and not on the sidewalk?
I believe Ohio Revised Code says that Class 1 are not allowed on any path.
It's not exactly a sidewalk though, but if we, I think we can
But
allow it.
I think
though.
it addressed multi-use paths.
I think we can
I'll have to
allow
go
it
back and look.
if we want to. And I don't really want an electrical bicycle going down a 50-mile-an-hour state route, so this is my.
But I don't want to be walking down there when I get rear-ended by a 30-mile-an-hour bike.
They put path, and there's a lot of, see a lot, so, talk about it more.
I know the Wood County is looking at not having type 1 bikes at all on the bike path.
Okay.
Really?
We'll talk more.
Yes,
They're so fast and so dangerous.
Yeah.
they are, and
Really?
It's
that's the
crazy.
problem.
But basically, this ordinance would prevent any motorized device on any of our sidewalks, and
Throughout the whole village or just in the downtown area?
It's
any
both.
sidewalk within the village, and then in the downtown, that would be expanded to any device between the intersection of Broadway. I originally had Poplar Alley, but there's no way to explain.
Can you start, what'd you say, what's not on any, what's not allowed on any?
So the way, it's right here, sir. No person shall operate a motorized
Oh, I got it.
bicycle,
On
electric
any
bicycle,
side.
motorized scooter, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
can I
upon
get-
any sidewalk in the village.
And it's safe, for the- I don't know about these, I'm ignorant to it, so please, but they're safe to ride in the roadway, right?
That's where there's.
Yes,
That's
Okay,
where they're supposed to.
perfect, yeah, so if that's where they're supposed to be, yeah, why would we want them?
Also, the state of our sidewalks, I wouldn't want to ride anything on them. But that's just a jab at ourselves, I guess.
You have a difficult time
Go
walking.
yes with the income tax, please. So I'm still working on this a little bit with Bozak. I think it's just about done. So for next Tuesday, I have one more thing to check out with you. But this is the thought right now, and I think we're in a good path forward. So
Nice.
Okay. Any questions for Richard? Do you have anything else to add, Richard?
No.
All right, we will move on to finance and technology. I don't see anything under here for Dave, so Josh, did you have anything to address under finance and technology?
Or Justin, you do?
now that comes to mind.
All right. Any questions for Dave? All right, we will move on to our administrator, Josh.
Hello. So the first thing, tall grass, weed enforcement. So I got confirmation after going back and forth with our legal counsel about how to go about people with tall grass and weeds who we cannot serve for X, Y, Z reason. We can't reach them, so we can't cite them. I really don't want to take this to Bowling Green for weeding grass. Tires and all that, yes, but weed and tall grass, no. So my thought, and what is basically been approved by legal counsel, is it's okay with you guys, I'd like to just assess. So we have a 5-day violation, and then if we can't reach them, in many ways we actually cite, or we can contact them before or during the violation. We go on their property and we assess it. $250 to mow and or cut weeds. A little high, that's why I'm coming to you guys, but I think it's the best way forward because obviously tall grass, tall weeds, it gets worse and worse and worse. And if you go through Bowling Green Court or Mayor's Court with continuances that can last months and months is not the proper way forward in my opinion. So
And you're talking just grass and weeds?
Just grass and weeds,
Yeah.
yes. Everything else is handled, I mean, obviously, depends on the situation, but blight and all that can go through either BG or Mayor's Court. We work on it, on that. But just grass and weeds, I'm kind of asking permission in a way to go this route because it is kind of, in my opinion, a little harsh, but at the same time, there's no better way forward, in my opinion.
We just need to be careful going on people's property. Now,
Of
people
course.
need to take care of it. So what are we talking about here? I know you're saying grass weeds, but what, so you told me that down in Dee's area, the 500, 200, what was it? So I drove down by there yesterday. What's the concern with his house?
500 East Lawn,
East Lawn, yeah.
I believe he mowed today.
No, it was mowed yesterday. Okay,
Yes.
perfect. That's
Here's the
what,
thing.
when I drove by, I'm sorry. here's the-
Well, we waited 2
He
weeks.
has,
I
he
get
has,
it.
let me explain those
Yeah,
something.
I get
He
it.
has weeds up above my head, up above the house, but
Oh,
the thing is,
yeah.
he did part of it, he didn't do the west side.
I'm hearing you. I'm
this is
sorry.
the problem.
No, hear me out a second. Let me, just please give me a second.
Of course.
So yesterday, he said, oh my gosh, it's so bad down there, it's so horrible. He said, and I'm thinking, I said, I'll drive down there and look at it right now, because it's that bad, oh my goodness. So guess what? I did, well, there was a train, and I thought, oh.
Of course there's a train.
But I ended up going, so I went around the train, got down by there, and I thought, what's he so upset about? What am I missing? I understand when you're driving in front of the house and inspecting, because from what I understand, the guy's not very, it's okay. So then I looked, I thought,
It's been
what am I
like this
missing?
for a
So
year.
that's what, no,
Right.
please don't think that,
Right.
I was taking back thinking, what's the problem? The guy mowed, and he didn't, I got it.
He hired somebody. to
Yeah,
come
that's
in.
okay.
So he didn't do the west side,
That's-
and here's the problem, the thing is he's a repeat habitual offender. So are other ones on that area, and that's where we've got to
Yeah, I
get a
get
little
it.
bit more
Yeah,
teeth with
but
this.
I
So
get it.
it's somewhat harsh, but it does get the point across. And the reason in this situation I wanted to assess this, our officer could not cite him because he couldn't get a hold of
Sure,
the personal delivery.
where did you come up with $250 though?
That comes down to 521.19 for assessing of properties for tall grass and weeds.
Does it say about $250?
Yes.
I'm not.
We increased it last year.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
We use it for 301 South Co, that whole block really, and then 601 East
I
Road.
think one of the concerns why it got bumped up, and correct me if I'm wrong, is because the equipment was actually
being damaged.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
they get damaged, right.
Yep.
And if we're paying someone to do it.
Which we do for
Yeah.
301 South Pell Griffith Landscape.
But I think this will help motivate people if they get obsessed with that, but they have to be informed. And I know you can't get a hold of them, but you still have to.
We
see
assess
whether you
only if
put
we
a note-
cannot get in contact with them.
Right.
You can still put a note on the door, right?
Yeah, that's-
So my thought, well, yeah, we do a violation for 5 days,
Okay.
that's served on the door, it doesn't have to be in person. 5 days comes up, they still haven't done it, we try to cite them, he can't cite for whatever reason, the guy works odd hours, or refuses to answer the door, it happens quite a bit actually, we assess the property. He does get in contact with them, then we go the process, Bearsport or even BG, but we also have the ability to cite them every day that they.
Yeah, but we was told,
Which right over there
don't,
we do
you're
anyways.
not gonna do that.
I'm not going
That's
that
what our
route.
legal counsel
That's
told us
not
you're
true.
not. I'm not gonna fight that
That-
in court where you cite somebody.
Yeah, that's
He's-
way too long.
He said he would agree with every week, is what he told us.
But I do believe that when you cite them, when you tell them that they have to get this done in 5 days, you gotta let them know what the process is, even though you can't.
It's on,
get a hold of them.
Yes.
it's on the violation,
Okay.
it says there.
We're coming back in 5 days, you're gonna be assessed
Yes.
$250,
Right.
and we're gonna.
I
vote
mentioned to you
against.
before the meeting, I will double check the language, I'm pretty sure it's on there. but I'll
And-
triple
After
check
the
it.
5-day.
You
yeah.
said,
yeah.
and we're gonna mow the grass, or?
Well, yeah, that's part of it.
That's it,
Yeah.
that's
Grass
what
would be-
$250.
That's what we want, right?
Yes.
Yes.
We want to correct, we want
Yeah.
to correct
But
that.
they need to be informed of that, so
They
they're not
will
caught
be
off
informed
guard.
through the violation itself, and then after the assessment's done, I will take it upon myself to send them a mail with, all the documentation of what happened, and let them know that it'll be on their property taxes.
So what are we doing with the properties that do half the job? That they take care of part of the job, but they don't take care of all the weeds? What about, I mean, because across
They're still in
the street-
violation.
Those are
across the
particularly
street,
weird, but.
The
From-
cars
from
that
your
are
house?
there, the weeds are up above the
From-
car.
from your
So,
house?
It's a
across
good
the
question.
street from where you live.
Most-
On the corner of East One and South One,
Gotcha.
across the street. So what are we gonna do with those? Where he mowed, but he didn't take the weeds.
Technically, we could still do
Thank you,
what we're
Paula.
talking about.
Hey, you're welcome.
Thank
If
you.
anyone
Thank you.
wants
Appreciate
to
you.
talk about parks,
Thanks for
I'm
your
happy to come to Park and Rec meetings.
Okay.
We don't charge you guys for those things either.
You wanna come, that's what it is.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
It's 5:30, yeah. Thank you.
So, I mean, technically, we could still go on as if they didn't mow it at all.
I mean,
would think.
what are we looking for, though, as far as mowing it? So,
It's not like
well,
progress,
well,
right?
I guess, because I agree with you, D, I mean, you can't just mow half your property, guys. I mean, why would you just mow half your property?
They did.
If you're just
I was just
so,
on
They
so
did the
then.
front and they
They
went
mowed
like
half
this
of
with
it.
it.
Yeah,
It's like,
so,
oh,
yeah, so.
It's crazy.
I think if we, in my opinion, if we give them ample time to come into compliance, I think we're protecting ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
giving them an opportunity to come into compliance. If they're just not going to, yes, we're gonna have to go in there. If he or she just mows half of it, we need to let them know they're still in violation, and I would say.
Give
we
them
need
another
to-
3 days or something?
That's not a bad idea. You got 3 days to come into compliance, or we are
If
coming.
if they,
But
if they started the project, but didn't finish it, they've got 3 days, and otherwise, we're gonna have to.
I
It
would
would have to
say-
be
but-
5,
but-
I can't do less than 5.
But I would say.
Officially.
No, I'm saying if the initial 5 has been done, and they haven't completed it in that 5 days, they get an additional 3, they've started the
It would have
project.
to be unofficial. I cannot give an official violation less than 5 days.
You got 5 days to come into compliance, and we're coming on, so they get, and I think that's where you draw the line. If it's not done, you go on the property, but would you charge half? I mean, you're not gonna charge, I mean, guys, if you're saying we're gonna charge $250 for the whole thing.
Well, I bet they only do it once.
That's what I'm saying.
There it is.
Hopefully they come into compliance within the 10 days. If they don't, you're never gonna have it as high, as long as we're doing our job. You're never gonna have it as high as you're saying, if we go by this process, they got a maximum of 10 days to come into compliance, and then we're coming onto your property. And I think, does everybody agree, is that ample time? I mean, if you can't
Oh, yeah.
mow your lawn in 10 hours, your neighbors shouldn't have to.
Now, you're saying 10 days, but it's 5.
No, it's 5, and then
Okay.
you're coming back and saying, hey,
People
you only did
put
this.
stuff on our community Facebook all the time, I need my grass mowed, and they literally get 50 people responding, I'll come mow your grass.
Yeah.
So
And they pick-
anyone can get their
Yeah.
grass mowed at any time.
Yeah, I've offered, right? I've
Yeah.
offered, and
Yeah.
so, what I'm saying, though, I'm saying you get 5, if you're in violation, you get your 5 days. Say, I get a 5-day notice, I only mow half of it. You're saying, what do we give him, an additional 3? And then he said, I have to give an additional 5. So I only mow half of it, and he comes down the next day and he says, hey, look, Aaron mowed half of it, I'm giving you, you only got half of it done, bud, your time's up, you got 5 days starting from today, because he said he has to give at least 5 days. If it's not done after that 5th day, the second notice, because I'm coming to somewhat compliance, right? You're saying, so.
Unofficially, I can do 3 days and just say, go off the first notice, I can still assess your property. I could do that route also, it just depends. If I get in contact with
Yeah,
the guy.
because when you go 10 days every time, I mean, the grass gets so ridiculous.
Over 10, over a week
I don't
sometimes.
know, yeah, depending on how much rain we get.
Right.
Can I bring up a positive thing though, and this is not grass? I have noticed there's several troublesome properties.
Oh, of course.
That have drastically been cleaned up in the last couple of weeks. So I'd like to say good work and pass it along to the code officer, because
Thank you.
I mean, it's been the entire time I've lived in this town that they've been a disaster, and like, I drove by and I almost drove off the road the other day because it was completely cleaned up. I thought maybe they moved out.
Tear come down your eye.
It looks nice, and there's several that I see on a daily basis that are really getting cleaned up.
But
so.
yeah, I think
Appreciate
it's
it.
nice to have
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
He was asking, what happened if they only mow half of it? I'm not saying give them 10 days if they're about it. I'm saying if they start it and only do half the property, you gotta go back and give them another notice, right? And say, look, buddy, you got this amount of time to finish this, or else we're coming on your property.
And a question about why you cut your
Right?
grass.
Would you agree with that? I mean.
Well, I guess I'm at the point where you gave them the notice, they didn't get it done by the 5 days. I don't know about giving them another 5. I guess that's my concern.
So if you
because-
go unofficial.
What was you saying about 3 days?
And some.
Well, I was saying, maybe we just say, listen, you didn't complete the job, I will give you an additional 3 days, but then we're coming on your property.
Josh said
And-
officially
You can't do that,
I
is what I'm
understand.
saying.
And
No, I
also-
understand. That's what I'm saying.
I was thinking one
Also, we have to think
I
about
don't do it.
when I can inspect, when Jake can inspect, when Public Works can actually get there and mow.
Right.
There's other factors too, so it's not like it's 5 days and 6 days, we're there. No, it's usually a couple of
And like you said, hopefully, like everybody said, once you get assessed $250 for if somebody charges you $250
Right.
to mow
And
my
that's
lawn.
what I'm hoping, if we let them know
Correct
when they're
behavior.
served, to make sure that they know they're gonna get assessed this in 5 days, or however many days it is, that'll prevent them from getting that.
Also
They'll go out and
citations,
actually
too.
start mowing.
Again, this is only, I'm talking about only doing this, well, never say never, but if we can't actually cite them. I mean, certain situations I'm sure will arise where don't cite them, just assess them, because they're second, third, fourth time around
Right.
block type of thing.
And that's the problem, these people have been habitual since last May,
There's people.
or before, and that's when we put the blight
Okay,
ordinance.
well, I think I have enough information here, council, so I appreciate that. I'm going to move forward on this. Okay, if I may, Public Works Building. So after doing the criteria and all that, pretending to play the job of architect, which I'm not, FYI, AI is telling me that it's going to be $1.3 to $2 million for what I'm proposing right now for the Public Works Building. I think that range is because, again, I'm not an architect. There's going to be a big range. I'm sure I'm missing this and that particular item that I've never heard of. So I would like to bring up again for discussion, possibly going with Garmin Miller, actually seeking a revised proposed fee from Garmin Miller, who originally gave us their qualifications. It was rated the highest before, for the technically Public Works and Fire Station at the time, but which now is just Public Works Building, for revised for the design, so we can use that said work that they do for an actual proper sealed bid for a Public Works Building. What may have been the issue last time around is that this Public Works Building is not just a pole barn. This will include office space, bathroom, and a bunk room. Actually, I'm not sure I removed that or not. Heated storage, all that. So this is like a whole new home for Josh, not just what he sees across the street with Brian's pole barn. So I'm hoping.
Can I ask you a question, Josh?
Yes.
Who came up with the description of what we need? Is that you?
That's all me.
Okay.
I spent about.
So what's wrong with putting that out for bid and not paying?
We could.
Again, I'm totally against giving that company $100,000.
$20,000.
$20,000
for the
Even
original
$20,000
offer. It should be
some
less.
renderings. We don't need
It's
renderings.
less than, it's way more than renderings. It's also just architectural design that can be approved and you can get accurate bids for.
It's not going to be stamped engineering drawings, though. They're not doing that for us for $20,000. There's no way. I think you do this and.
Can't we just call a pole barn company and ask them to give us, just call, there's no one
100%. If you call Norton, yeah, I'll take this and I'll call Morton's and say, what is it gonna cost to build this? You have a description of what you want.
We need some rooms, we need some office space, we need
This
some
is a
storage.
good detailed description of exactly what we want.
It's going to be more than 79,000, which is competitive bidding threshold, which means we have to go for sealed bid anyways, which means we're back to square one.
Yeah. Put this out there and people will give you a plan and tell you how much it costs.
Yeah.
I'm completely against paying $20,000 to have someone put
I'm-
into a drawing what you have here. That's what those people will do.
I'm afraid we go for sealed bid, and I get a lot of questions asked to me that I can't answer. And then we have a range from 1.3 to 2 million on this building. So that's my big worry.
But if you reached out to a pole barn company yet that builds pole barns, have you reached out to them?
Again,
I'm just asking, did you?
In my opinion, this is more
Okay,
than.
it doesn't matter, I'm asking you, no, I get it. Can you call a pole barn company, there's one up on Route 6, I think it's USA Pole Barns, and just ask them.
Just give them this good quote?
Oh, just ask them, say, hey, look, we're looking for a pole barn that's this size, we want some office space in it, and maybe some other details. Well, who would I talk to kind of put something together to what we want to bid out? And just see what they say.
Well, they
Just see
should
what
all
they
have
say.
a design team.
Yeah, that's exactly, yeah, just see what they say. Because I think we're trying to do too much when there could be somebody out there that would say, oh, yeah, sure, I'll put you in touch with so-and-so and you can give them details. And no covenants, just say, here's what we're kind of looking for as a public works building. We're not trying to get too elaborate, we're just trying to, with some office space and some heated room and just see what they say, right? The worst they could say is, go pound salt, right? And then maybe we have to go talk to somebody like that.
The vehicle.
I don't believe that will happen, it's,
You also need like
yeah.
8-inch concrete.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna want
Amongst parking and.
8-inch with those big trucks. But they'll probably have all that.
It's
Just
hard
have-
for me to, yes, I will do that, yes.
There's probably more help out there than what you think, and then you're not burdened with trying to come up with the whole thing yourself, Josh.
And I do like Eric's idea to reach out to Morton, because they're one of the best.
Yeah, they do this buildings all the time.
Yep.
You send them this sheet that you created and said, give us a quote on what it would cost to build this. That's all you gotta do.
All the rest of this.
Clary, the name of it?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Clary.
Clary, C-L-A-R.
USA Pole Barns up on 6, I think is what they're called. I just drove by them. I don't know where they are. I drove by coming back
They've
from work.
been there for a long time.
There's 3, you can call all 3 of them, just see what they say.
Okay.
I think we're down to Eagleville Bridge Project.
Oh, the fun one. So,
What are they doing out there?
the
Oh,
answer
that's
is,
a CSO project, that's different.
Yeah, but I just didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
well, the answer, if you directly towards the bridge, is nothing. The reason why I have this in front of me, I'm sure you guys read this far into the packet, but basically, I've already given this to the county engineer, and he replied back to me today, which I replied back to him snarkily. Basically, they have been dragging their feet, in my opinion, for months, if not a year plus, on who's responsible for the replacement of the Eagleville Bridge. Everything I found says them. Both a previous village solicitor and our current village solicitor both say it's them. ORC says it's them, but apparently the engineer and the county prosecutor have not given me an official no, it's not them, but they just keep dragging their dang feet. I don't know what's going on over there. So in a way, I'm kind of forcing their hand. I will say, maybe it's a strong way of saying that, but basically, ORC, I forgot the exact number. Let's see if I can find it here. A resolution, which I haven't given you a name yet, authorizing the mayor to file a petition with the Wood County Board of County Commissioners regarding the Eagleville Road Bridge and declaring an emergency. Basically, this says that they will basically go with it. They will say, yes, it's ours. They will make an official determination. There'll be a public hearing over there. They'll talk about it.
We've sat down with them, I was a part of that discussion while you're looking.
Code of Section
He's been over there with them
559.1.02.
again, sat down with them, they will not give him an answer, we need to get an answer on this. The bridge is 100 years old. it is inadequate for,
It will be
I mean,
2 years.
we need somebody to go out there and at least inspect it and let us know. I think somebody from the county needs to go out there. I think somebody's required every year to inspect the bridge. I'd like to know what the last rating was on that bridge. Four or less,
It was a 4.
it's a dangerous.
June
bridge.
2024 was last inspection. I have the report from the Federal Bridge, whatever it is, inventory.
Anything lower than a 4,
It's
you're
a
starting
4.
to get into.
The mayor and I visited personally,
Yeah,
it's
I
falling
looked
apart.
at it.
You can
There's a hole
peel
in
off
it,
parts
like a
of it.
hole all the way through.
Yeah, that's for scup, that's the way they used to put scuppers in, it's to get rid of the water. We put them in today, and there's metal.
So the reason why this is an emergency is because this is our most important bridge, and it's the only thing that was open during the flood that we had earlier this year, and we gotta get on top of this now. It's gonna be 100 years old, it's gonna be over 100 years old.
The
by the time we get-
head wall's deteriorating.
Who assessed it?
I don't know, that's what I.
We didn't assess it,
the
and the county assessed
You're
it.
saying inspect.
We don't,
Yeah.
we don't inspect it.
Somebody, they're required to by law. I know that the state is required
The
by.
state did?
The state did? Okay, so.
Because they did that the same time they did the
Water-
other bridge.
okay,
and
so-
closed that.
I wish I saw it, I don't know who. So when I was doing the Pemberville bridge that we had just done, I talked to the guy, and I didn't even know that he was the one that inspected he told me that, what he said was, I inspected that bridge, Aaron, and inspected it as a 5, you guys did have to shut it down for 2 years. I said, well, I wasn't involved at the time, so it's a done deal, right? So, but I wish I'd have known he also inspected that. I talked to the inspector who inspected it, and I did not know that he inspected both of them. But it needs to be replaced, it is.
This bridge is necessary for the village, it's instruments.
There's rebar
Paramount
sticking
is
out of the
replaced.
bottom of it that's rusted and it's no good now. It's
Yeah.
still, I don't think it's I'm not an inspector, the head walls, you can't even, wing walls are dilapidated, it won't be long before.
And regarding the East Broadway sidewalk project, that's supposed to be with Bill 2030, they're asking me, what's going on with this bridge? 'Cause it's supposed to go obviously over it. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you,
So that's-
Hank County engineer, blah, blah, blah,
So we just like to reach out and try to push their hand a little bit respectfully.
Respectfully, yes.
Respectfully, we're not trying to start.
I gave this to the county engineer, a professional courtesy last week, we got a response today. Seems like there's gonna be nothing going forward, we have to go forward with this, in my opinion. This is, if there was an emergency, this is obviously not for infrastructure.
I think, at the least, I think we need to ask them, so when is it gonna get inspected in 2026? If it has, we'd like to see that. That's something we need to reach out to. Yeah, we need to know what that inspection rating was for 2026.
I'll double check with the county engineer, which I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, yes, so please. But I know that it was the state guy. You might wanna reach
They
out.
might be worried about getting inspection.
Right, so if you reach out to, okay, so the state, I'm sorry, I could probably talk to them about this, see, if you reach out to the state guys that we sat down with, talking about State Route 18, see if you can find out, I don't remember what their names are, see if you can find out who, they'll know, who inspected that bridge for us. Who
might be in the
inspected the
report.
Water Street Bridge and the Eagleville Road Bridge, we can reach out and talk to him, the guy knows me personally, but I can't remember.
We pay for a
I only
separate,
know him from.
we pay for a separate inspection from them.
Yeah, but we don't wanna do that, they do it for free, they're required by law to do it. So, they either did it this year or find out when they're scheduled to do it. Every year they
I
have.
like it, I like it.
And then let's talk to that guy and see what his inspection was, and we can
Now-
ask him to come in and talk to him, give me his number and I can call.
I would, this is,
I will call
next
him.
week, I wanted to propose this to council. You say we should postpone this?
Well, can you do a first reading?
Yeah, you sure can. We can
Just
do
put it in there for a first
Good.
reading,
Yeah.
don't do it as an
And
emergency.
see what we
if
get
it's
to.
Iffy.
I did, I mean, just tell the county engineer that I was gonna do it.
That's all right, we can, well, that doesn't mean it's not coming.
I want to make a call bluff, I don't know. Or,
Well,
he
this
might think,
isn't a-
he might think he's calling my bluff, I don't know.
This isn't a back and forth, don't.
It's become that.
No, this
I've
is-
emailed this guy
I know.
once a month for like the last year
Well,
saying,
you-
what's going on?
You got a response today.
And I finally got a response, after,
So it's something that we're working on. Josh, I really appreciate your work on this.
it needs done.
If you get a number of that guy who inspected that, you can give him a call and I can come up and sit in with that, on that call with you.
All right. Did you have anything else you wanted to discuss tonight?
The resident, Aaron Patterson, gave a all events permit application. It got to me after this was submitted to you guys the other day.
with all of our insurance and is, I don't know if he's got you guys copies of all that.
I do, it's all,
For you guys to consider at next Tuesday's meeting.
Yep.
Okay, can I bring something up that happened during the last festival? I think when we have downtown festivals with getting the public works dump trucks on both Broadway behind where we had the stage, when we showed up Friday night, we were setting up, there was just one barricade there. So someone could come down Broadway towards Main. We had the police go over and get one of the public works pickup trucks to park there.
So I thought that we barricaded both of them off last year.
There was only
I
just
don't
one
remember if we
barricade
did.
there,
There was
Aaron.
only one barricade behind the
One wooden
stage.
barricade.
Yeah, one wooden barricade. So I think that we should, both things at Broadway there, have them park our dump trucks there to stop
Is-
someone from.
I think somebody told Josh Long that by law you have to have an egress. So we need to check legally. I don't know if that's legal or not.
Okay.
So we need to check. There has to, on a closed street, there has to be an egress by law. I don't know if that's true or
Okay.
not. So it's something we should look at, but I agree.
Okay. Yeah, it was alarming. We were like, oh my gosh, there's only one wooden barricade. Somebody could drive right into the
If
stage.
council authorized the shutdown of these streets, like, the whole street needs to be shut down,
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah.
at that, so it would be like on Main Street on Walnut. Walnut is shut down at Main Street, all the way across.
Yeah, and I think
And I know that's what we did, because we did that at State Street, and the elevator got.
the other side wasn't that big of a deal because Hunker had the
Yeah.
fire trucks parked there, but they had several calls that day, so it probably wouldn't be bad to have something parked
So
over
we'll,
there.
we'll,
too.
we'll have that all taken care of.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, yep.
So, nothing else? That's all I have.
And then we did talk about the emergency supplemental appropriation for the police. Is there anything else on that? The only other thing, I'm gonna ask this council to extend the DORA to incorporate the fire department, the hall. So Hunter was actually asking for it because in case they ever do anything, but so what he would like to do is have, anytime that he's asked to do the beer tent, he wants to do it inside there.
Yeah.
And then
So-
close off, by law, you cannot drink on public property unless it's in a DORA. And then we're gonna have the cornhole board tournament, like you guys did there. So it would have to incorporate the DORA there.
I thought the insurance company said it was okay to put it inside, because we checked on that.
They were fine with that, for sure.
The Ohio Revised Code, I'm just letting you know, says it's illegal to drink, have alcohol on public property unless you are in a DORA area. That's why I'm asking, just to be in
But isn't that in the door area?
No,
Oh,
no,
it's
not the
Okay,
building.
I
Not the
apologize.
building. No, that's okay. No, not the building. And Hunter was actually asking for it, just in case they want to do some fundraisers on the hook and ladder
Right.
or whatever.
Well, it would save the fire department, the tent, and
Sure.
the.
Yeah, yeah, they move everything out of the firehouse anyway,
Yeah,
so.
and that's what we want to do. So I'm just
Yeah.
asking to consider it. If so, it's a simple, just an addition and then submit it. I've looked into it. So that's all that I have. Is there any questions for me?
More DORA legislation coming up.
What'd you say?
More DORA legislation coming right up.
Well, this has been long enough, so
I love that little girl.
thank you guys very much.
She's a pretty good explorer.
Where's your mind?
I'll give you a
Dora the
call
Explorer.
tomorrow.
Aaron.
Oh.
One-
I do.
Stand up.